All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Rewind's Rewind, Season 19, Episode 2. I'm your host, Shanks, and I have my three lovely co-hosts here today who would like to introduce themselves.
Woo.
I'll go.
Okay.
Sorry,
I was
women
like
talking over each
silence and
other.
character
Wow.
at the same time. I love that.
It's feminism. I'm Sydney, Twilight connoisseur, law school student. Wait, should I say doxing myself.
She's our real
Um,
We don't know what law school.
True. And no longer the female diversity hire. Thank you, Alex.
No problem. That feels like a good segue to me. I am Alex, the other female host. Yay. It is a delight. Although I will say for this episode, we forgot to get our slurs out beforehand.
Oh
So
my
who knows
God.
what's gonna happen? It could
Oh
get wild and
God.
crazy on the pod.
Anyways.
And, oh,
Stop. No.
yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
No.
Uh-huh. And
We have
I'm
Nessie Black.
I'm Graham, winner of Rewinds 13, and
Very
Oh.
humble.
Oh, we're
I
giving
dropped it. I wanted to feel myself today.
Okay.
Winner of Rewinds 13, and my dishwasher is currently going, so I will be on mute sometimes until that stops. Also, watch 911 Nashville, the new
I
sequel,
literally
the new
never
sister
My mother
sequel.
watches that one too, Graham. Yeah.
It
I asked
literally
her
It,
if she
never
watches 911. She's like,
ends.
oh, 911 Nashville? There's another one?
it
I don't
comes
know, just
on
911.
after 911
Didn't they have
on
911 Lone Star or some bullshit
ABC
too?
at 8 at 8 Central.
Ryan
I
Murphy needs to be
literally
locked in a
can't.
room and just not allowed to make television anymore. But
He is diabolical. He's
that's a different
diabolical.
Ryan
show.
Murphy saw Andy Cohen's Empire and said, I'm having that.
Oh my God.
Mm.
Unfortunately, the two lead male hot firefighters ended up being brothers. So
That hasn't stopped anyone on
That
AO3.
actually, yeah, definitely has not stopped Ryan Murphy. I'll tell you that.
that's true.
Legitimately, we have proof that that's not stopped Ryan
So
Murphy.
back to
So,
CBS and in that realm of television.
Well, it stopped me. So
and we're grateful.
we're so happy.
Well, on that note, we're going into the second week, but first real traditional week of season 19 here in Rewind Land.
Mhm.
And we've got our first HOH competition coming up where Christmas, rest in peace, did have a curse where she had to throw it, but that's out the window now. So we had a Twilight trivia themed trivia competition about, Twilight and everything. And Sydney made all the
Well,
competitions
yes.
from scratch, all the questions, didn't even
Well,
look anything up.
yes.
She just made them all, made too many questions, in
Well, I did.
fact.
I fact checked myself. I fact checked myself,
And you were
but yeah,
correct. You didn't
yeah,
have to
yeah. It came
fact check.
from.
That's the problem.
And you didn't create every question from your own memory.
They were all correct off of her
We
own
also
memory.
got down into like movie versus book. Like it was getting into like the deep cuts.
It
It was
was
quite
the
impressive.
nitty gritty type shit. It was serious. But
That's what
yes,
I'm here for.
the players are split up into four teams of four. We don't really need to get into what the teams were, but then the big thing here, we also had the golden onion in play, where someone, as long as they
Hmm.
were not the only person left on their team, could be like, "Oh, I don't like this competition, and I want to be safe," and they could just snatch the thing and just be safe for the week and take out the whole team in the process. And I thought this competition would be a lot more back and forth with four teams, but
You would think so.
they
You'd
were
think
split
so.
into Team Cullen, Team Denali, Team Black, and Team Swan. And Team Cullen got a few licks in there, but I literally think Team Swan won like 13 rounds, 11 of 13 rounds. It wasn't even close. It
It
was
got
And it
boring
was
viewing
Veronica,
results.
it was
and it
it was
like
Veronica winning all the rounds to be
I was
so
like,
like
it was
Team
specific.
not
Cullen.
anyone.
Yeah, Team Cullen came in and got like the very first question. Was like, "Ooh, okay, Team Cullen," and then maybe also got the second question. I think that's literally because Veronica like wasn't online yet or like couldn't answer.
Mhm.
Or I think actually she did get the second one but didn't ping us, and I'd have said like you have to ping us.
Something
So
like that.
so technically she didn't get it. But then after essentially those first two rounds, not a single other team ever in the course of the entire competition won a round, and it is literally because Veronica, I suppose, is like me. I didn't see that for Veronica, but like good for you.
No, I think Veronica was
But
Googling shit, bro. It was crazy. She's like, she had her.
it was so
Megan was the super
fast.
fan. We'll get to Megan in a second.
Hmm.
Megan was the one who knew all the answers. Just Veronica was somehow Googling faster than Megan could read and
It was so
I
process.
thought
fast.
Veronica was also a fan.
Was she a fan? I thought she was on
I
Google.
think I think she had at least like more knowledge than maybe the average person.
There is no way she could have answered some of those questions via Google
Yeah, there's no way. It was
quickly.
taking like
I
There's
swear,
no
someone, maybe
way.
I'm wrong, but I swear she was complaining about Google at one point, but she was still getting it. I don't know.
she
It
was
was
probably
crazy.
fact checking herself type
Maybe.
thing. It wouldn't shock me if that was
Relatively.
the
It
situation.
was so fast. So yeah, Veronica literally just dominates the competition. And Megan, I think Ramses was in Team Swan,
Yeah,
and Ramses
Ramsey.
is
It
like
was
gone.
because Cody was there
Ramses.
first. Cody was on their team,
Oh
and
yeah,
then Cullen won the
Colin
first
took out
one, took out
Swan or took out
Cody,
Cody.
and then they
Yeah.
just kept going and going and going and going. It was to the point where at this point they kept targeting the Cullens. So it came down to Cody and Josh on not Cody, Matt and Josh on Team Cullen. And Matt was like, well, if we lose one more round, I can't get the onion. So Matt just took the onion and took him and Josh out, which did the work for the Swans. And Josh was like really mad about this for some reason.
The only thing
He was
Josh has
so
shown
mad.
any interest in the game at all was this decision by Matt. Josh has been silent on every other front during this game,
We're
but
in we're in
his,
week 4. Josh came online today to do a challenge, and he was like, "How the fuck am I not nominated?" Because yeah, Josh is still
Yeah,
not
that's
nominated.
real.
Yeah.
we'll get there because
We will.
we are covering both cycle 2 and cycle 3 this episode.
Yes,
So we
yes, yes,
will get
yes.
to why Josh has not been nominated.
Ah, Lord. But yes, so all said and done, we get to the final rounds, I should say, because once all the other teams get eliminated, we're like, so if your team's the only one left, it becomes individual competition. And you would think Veronica just smokes this here, but Veronica's been using a second app to get to Discord on her phone, and apparently the app has a lot of
I forgot about this.
R-rated advertisements.
I think
I forgot
X-rated
about
is
this.
the more appropriate rating.
Yeah,
Thanks.
X-rated.
X-rated.
I believe it was phrased as I lost HOH because of a porn ad. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
So yeah,
sorry, Veronica.
Veronica saw the ping, tried to open the app. It gave her that advertisement, and she
It
couldn't
spammed
get
her with
to it in
a
time.
do you want to chat bot.
Hot and sexy milfs in your area.
Yeah, I really think it was not even anyone who would like be enticing either. It was just like, this is good for me.
But yeah, so Megan snipes the second to last question and naturally takes out Veronica because why would you not if you want to be
Yeah.
HOH?
And she had been going to Veronica like, oh my God, it's been real. Like, can't wait for you to take me out. Cause she just assumed Veronica would get it
Yeah.
and snipe
Yeah.
her. Cause she's like, we've been both just dragging Ramsey's corpse. Like, of course would take me out. And so when she won, she was like, well, I gotta.
This
And
does remind me of this. Megan was coming in clutch for not Josh, for Jason and Mark, who both did not want to be HOH. But every time Veronica wanted to try to eliminate them, Megan would be like, no, 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 wait, they're good, they're good, they're good. And they're like, oh my God, Megan, thank you, but I don't want to win HOH. Please let me go out.
speaking of dragging corpses.
It was just Jason in his DR like I know Megan is just telling me in my one-on-one, like, I'm defending you, King. I'm keeping you from getting cut, King. Don't worry about it. And Jason is like, no, let me go.
Just let me go. I just let me go, please.
I've got to say, like, that would annoy me, not gonna lie, to a certain degree, especially if it's like, if I didn't ask for that, you're trying to get me an HOH I didn't ask for, and you're also revealing our relationship status and like
Correct.
closeness level when you didn't need to. You know what I mean? Like,
Correct.
save that for the right time. Come on. And I do think that that's gonna come into play sooner rather than later. Like, I do think Megan is playing hard, and I think people are noticing. Not to get ahead of ourselves, but
Yeah.
People
Yep.
are very much noticing, and they
Sorry.
notice because of this cycle in particular. Because, like Shink says, once Megan snipes Veronica, Veronica comes online about, I don't know, 40, 50 seconds too late. She's been got by the porn bot. She, unfortunately for her, gets cut. And then it's just down to Megan and Ramses. And Megan, like, 360 no scopes Ramses, like didn't even have a shot. Blind, handcuffed, beaten. It was
I
crazy. It
don't
was
even
a
know if he tried.
I
no.
don't
It
I
think
mean,
It
I
probably
wouldn't at
wasn't
that
even
can you
point.
make it
online.
like painless? Can you just get it
Yeah,
over with?
it was
Just
not.
make it quick, please. Just
Yeah.
Yeah. And Megan is crowned as our first HOH of the season because even though this is not the first cycle, it is the first cycle with an HOH this
because
season.
Grodner was on crack in 2017 and every year after that.
Mhm.
God bless. But that's not the only thing that was won this day. We also had our fan vote for the Den of Temptation going on, where we opened this poll on day one, which may have been too early, but I wanted to give everyone a fair chance to establish himself with Veronica in the mix as well, just so
Mhm.
that you wouldn't be like a Veronica army kind of swoop in. And yeah, that sure did happen. Instead of a Veronica army, there was a Raven army. So I think votes were locked for Raven on like day two, and I was like, well, I mean,
If
I was
our spec lounge loves anyone, it's just an insane player who like needs to be checked into the psych ward. You're a little bit worried about them, but you can't stop.
Uh-huh.
Like we love a train wreck here.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh.
And
And it was
I
all from Raven's early preseason DR. She was giving content, and then she got in the house, started insulting people, getting into fights, and like, oh, Raven's gonna leave. We need to give her this 3 weeks of safety.
no, that's exactly what
And
Yeah.
And
yeah,
that's true. That's absolutely
and
right.
that is
we'll get
exactly
there in a
what
second.
happened. And the specs made the right call for their whims and wants. Because if they had not given Raven that den of the is it pendant of
It
protection?
was tech
Hmm.
officially pendant of protection. We
Yeah.
Twilightified it into being Bella's shields,
Yeah, if they
all
had
that
not given
jazz.
given Raven Bella's shield, their worst hopes and nightmares would have come true this week.
Yeah, it was rough. It was so yes, Raven earns Bella's shield, which is just a pendant of protection, which for those of you who do not know, she is now safe for the first 3 weeks, but it is secret. So unless someone tries to nominate her, they won't know she's safe. And well, not to jump the gun, but Megan does exactly that because Megan has been beefing with Raven from the first day. She's like, I hate Raven's guts. She called me fat or something. I don't remember what the fuck she said. Something about like, I'm glad you lost weight or some stupid shit because it was not appropriate to say to a real person.
No.
Like a huge backhanded compliment. Like, I'm so proud of you for losing weight. Like, you actually look hot now. Like, I forget exactly what she
I
said.
think it
It was
was
very
that,
like,
something
yeah,
like
if it was
that.
to
Yeah,
a
it
real
was
person, you'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with
and
you?
Like to the
Megan's
fact
like,
that she's not the real Megan,
Yeah.
and like the fact that she was, I would be offended like that. When I was playing season six as not as a woman, I was getting offended by like perceived misogyny coming towards me. So I'm like, hell, like if I'm this Megan, I'd be like, what the fuck? And that's rightly so. Megan was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like that's so crazy
yeah,
to say. She called Jessica a slut on the first day. She told Cody he had girly sperm. Just Raven was causing a lot of problems. So naturally Megan was like, all right, you're going on the block. And then Bella was like, what if she didn't? And then Raven came right off the block effective immediately. And
yeah, it
Megan,
was.
yeah,
Let's jump into the nomination talk then, because
yes.
Megan has a little bit of Megan has a problem this week.
She doesn't tell anybody what she's doing.
And the problem is she's not communicating with anybody what she's going to
I don't even
do.
think she told the specs because I remember coming on to see the noms like, why is Jessica on the block? Forward. She also nominated Jessica, which is also like, why? Everyone was gagged in the house, out the house. The only person who was not shocked was Megan, which is crazy. What are you talking?
I'm trying to remember. Was she one of the people who was kind of wondering why Jessica got a bracelet? Because there were definitely a couple
I
people who
think,
were
yeah,
like,
some of them,
that's a little
Jessica's
weird.
Jessica's activity was not the strongest. I do think if Jessica doesn't get second place in the first challenge, she doesn't get a bracelet, but Christmas was trying to extend that olive branch. And then I get this also kind of boils into it's not happening yet, but on the back burner, Cody is pushing this bracelets versus non-bracelets alliance to Cameron, which we'll see come into full force next week. But it's kind of fuzzing around here that Megan, I believe, did Megan get a bracelet? Yeah,
Yes.
okay, Megan got a bracelet, and her nominations were initially someone who had a bracelet and someone who didn't get a bracelet. So there wasn't really anything about it. And then her next two nominations, because she has to make two renoms at this point, both happened to not get bracelets. So it became an activity thing, so to speak. And yeah, Jessica was not the most active but there were people less active than Jessica. And I think a big thing this people we talked about Josh a little bit already. The reason Josh didn't go up this week, Megan as HOH saw Matt and Josh arguing and
Mm.
put them in an alliance to be like, here, you sit in this corner, you sit in that corner, I'm gonna talk this shit out. And she viewing that as an alliance she wanted to keep. So she that meant now she could not nominate Matt nor Josh, even if she wanted to try to
Mm.
force them to work together.
Yeah, it was also one of those like Jessica, the Jessica issue where she got a bracelet from Christmas. She isn't extremely active, but she was active enough with the power players in the game.
That's all you
You
really
know,
need sometimes.
and I think again, this is spoiler alert to next cycle, but I think that's kind of one of the things that in like a lot of situations in this type of Big Brother, she normally would have been safe, but for some reason, outsiders have won now the first three HOHs, and and
I feel
so
like this is like a common thing in Big Brother, though. Like the outsiders a lot of times tend to win the early HOHs because they're the ones gunning for it, and the people who are well connected are like throwing as if their lives depend on it because they often do, like
yeah, and it just usually the outsiders will pick off like other outsiders because they don't really know what's happening.
yeah.
Jessica was well connected with like the Jasons. Jason really wanted her to stay both weeks she was on the
Her and
block.
Raven made up somehow.
Her and
Mhm.
Raven ended up getting, kind of closer again. Not, I wouldn't say close, but her and Christmas were really close week one, and Christmas had all the power week one, right? Like it was like, so it's interesting that she is like making friends with the right players, but it's like the wrong ones, quote unquote, are the ones winning HOH for her. I think in a lot of other ways that this season shakes out, she does not go nearly as early as she did.
Yeah.
And she still has a chance to come back. But I that's just something to note going forward because that's a big theme in cycle three. But we see it rear its head in cycle two, and then it comes back around.
Yeah.
And I actually could see her being one of the top people to come back because she really has
Absolutely.
been just like that dark horse competition wise. Like each time we're like, okay, Jessica, all right, like
She's usually in the top three to
yeah,
five
she
of
definitely stands a chance, I think.
MVPs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So then, yes. So Megan nominates Jessica and Raven without speaking to anyone really. A lot of people were like, what is Megan doing? Why is she doing this? And but then because Raven's power activates, we decided Megan is technically live on the spot. So we took away her roles for a second and like you are standing in front of the house, so to speak. Any decisions you want to make, you're doing it in front of everybody. If you want to talk to someone, talk to them in the house chat. And she just like on the spot was like, okay, nominating Elena, sorry. And then we go into the first veto of the season, which
Mhm.
was, why am I forgetting this? I don't
It was
remember.
how am I supposed to forgetting? I did it. It was my
I'm
POV.
scrolling up to find it right
Oh
now.
no, was it was
Oh,
was
it was
it
It
it was the
was
Vamp Moji charades. Vamp Moji
emoji.
charades.
yes.
Yes.
Oh my God. Don't even get me started on this competition. It all ended up fine, so it's fine.
Yes. There was a
But it
lot
got
of behind the scenes drama with this competition. It went through a lot of
not yeah.
iterations. It was supposed to
It
be
did,
live
it
at
did.
first. We saw this cast in 3 days of playing. Like, they're not gonna make a live thing work with all these people. We're not even gonna try. So we just scrapped that and made it something a little we there was a first it was like
No,
Twilight emojis, then we just made it Pacific Vampire. It was a whole thing. Sydney can talk
it
about
was
it.
a whole thing. Yeah, I won't get into it too much, but we wanted to I realized that it's hard for me to understand that people don't know Twilight like I do. Like, and I know that rationally, of course, I know that what I know is not a normal level of knowledge, but even it's like it's even so it's so ingrained in me that I'm like, guys, this is like a really easy question. Everyone's like, literally, no one knows what you're talking about. I'm like, to me, that's like a basic Twilight trivia question. So then that's when I realized I was like, guys, like, I don't have a handle on what is what the average Joe knows about Twilight. I'm like, okay, okay. So we
Forget
decided we
what the
wanted to
it
make
was
it.
definitely like a Volturi clue, and we're like, that's not as commonplace as you think.
And I was like, you don't know the Volturi? That's like basic for me. That's basic knowledge. But
Meanwhile, I'm
we
like,
take
I don't
it.
know, the Italian vampires. I forget their name. Like,
Well, and I mean, there you go. So Swan came in, and me and Swan reimagined the competition. We made it instead of being about Twilight, we made it just about like vampires. Like actually, specifically, Twilight was not implicated. I made that clear. This was just going to be like any kind of Twilight media. So like, it was just emojis spelling out some like phrases like blood bank or
Van
bloodsucker, but
Helsing.
yeah, but that well, yeah. So, and then most of them were like books, movies, or like series about vampires, like the Vampire Diaries, Interview with the Vampire, Van Helsing.
and we did have
So that's
little
kind
like
of
emojis to indicate like, oh, this is from like a book. There was a book, and then
yeah,
And then who
yeah.
could
I think
forget the Interview with the Vampire slash the vampire controversy we had
yeah,
going
that was
on.
crazy. How the entire hosting, like literally the entire hosting team, had a mass delusion where we all fully believed that it's Interview with a Vampire, and we were like, God, like, and I was like, should I key in the vampire even though it's clearly wrong? And Alex and Swan and everyone was like, no, like it's so obviously wrong.
it's
I was like, you're
famous as
right.
shit. Why the hell would we do that? Blah blah blah.
Yeah, literally.
Can't
And
tell us
then
that was
literally the
bullshit.
first person runs it and like gets it, but after he says it was Cody, he did
Yeah.
Interview with the Vampire first, which I hadn't keyed in because mass delusion. Then he does Interview with the Vampire. He gets it. He's like, by the way, like semantically, I'm gonna be I'm gonna dispute this. And I was like, no, you're totally fucking right. Like I was totally wrong. The entire hosting team was totally fucking wrong. So then we just like
Confidently wrong
snowflaked
too.
the time.
We weren't just
No,
like
confidently, like
Loud
literally,
and
like
talking about
wrong.
it. It was like,
Literally,
loud and
should we put this
wrong.
in? No, it's wrong. Why would we put it
Yeah, it's clearly wrong.
in?
So that was crazy. So yeah, so we just ended up like snowflaking his time in the first command, and then I just keyed in. So it all worked out, and I think it's still a fun competition. And
I always thought
it was definitely interesting. Oh, and I'll say too, and Graham can also speak more on this, but because we were just both like gagged by it. So like several people started doing the competition at once, and it was a competition where you could skip a question, but penalties like or skips like counted worse against you than time. You could also, for every incorrect command, you got a 15-second time penalty. So there were some people that I would actually say most people had quite a few time penalties because just like the nature of the game. But it really was going to come down to, I think, skips, like if people
Mhm.
skipped or not. So Jessica is what she like pretty much immediately starts going like POV's posted and she's going in like 15 minutes. I was like, damn. And she's like immediately like blasting through it. Like she's literally getting through it so fast. And then she gets to there was a phrase, I think it was round 4 where it was baby vampire. Now mind you,
It was
I keyed
newborn,
in like
right?
any
Newborn
or
vampire,
newborn.
baby
Well, I
vampire.
keyed
Yeah.
in like yeah anything that it could possibly be a baby vampire, newborn. I put spawn in there because of Swan. He's like spawn could be an answer. I was like okay, but anyway, she got the right answer immediately, but she didn't realize she had the wrong round number on the command. So she gets it and gets it wrong. So then she starts spiraling and she spends a significant amount of time trying all these actually very creative guesses, trying to figure out what it is when the entire time she just has the round number incorrectly and just needs to key that in and she would get it. So she's like spiraling. And then Cody like kind of speeds through the first 9. And then he gets to the last question, which is Van Helsing, and he's like stuck. He just cannot get it. Um, and I'm pretty sure he ends up skipping that one. So at the end of the day, Jessica finally figures it out, gets to the end. She would have literally beasted that comp had she not messed that round up.
She
Like she probably would have done it in
poor.
like less than like she honestly might have had a time of like 5 minutes, like
Maybe.
genuinely.
It was
And but
crazy. She
it
was
was
eating it up
insane.
in an insane way.
But the thing for her, and I think what really saved her is I think she's the only person that got Van Helsing. So
She was.
everybody else had at least one skip because I think everybody else skipped on the last round. I mean, Matt, I think, played that POV and he skipped like 4 of the, or maybe it was Mark. Someone skipped like 5 of the rounds. I think Megan, who was
Megan
HOH,
skipped like
skipped like
six.
most. Did we also
Yeah.
say how Megan went in her HOH or she went in her DR? She was like, wow, this POV looks so fun. Like, did we already talk about that?
We did.
No.
We did not talk
Okay.
about
Oh, we
that
didn't.
yet.
Okay, yeah. So Megan goes in her DR and she's like, oh, this POV looks so fun. Like, can I run this in my subs? And I'm like, yeah, like run it in your subs if you want, no problem. And then someone in the spec lounge is like, what? She's playing in the she's HOH, she's playing the POV. I'm like, oh my God, you're right. So I run in her subs. I'm like, girl, just know that you're actually HOH is always playing POV. So when you play it, you are going to be scored and it will matter. And she was like, oh, right. So it really was two dumb bitches coming together.
And then
Because
she
I
waited
just
until like 20 minutes for the comp to be due when she was like had a meeting in like 10 minutes and she was like, I'll do it now, I guess. And then had to skip like six. It was just like, I'm over it, bye. And like left.
no, literally.
When she was the only one
Yeah.
that was like, I want to do this so bad. It looks so fun. And then she just like shat all over it. It was really good. It was really good.
To
It
be
was
fair, if you're doing it for fun, you could be like, you're not constrained by the 24 hours. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
she could have potentially went, but yeah, she did in fact shit the bed. I'm not
she
defending
was
her.
she was just such a beautiful mess this entire HOH and I loved every minute of it, to be
We have
It's
honest with
been a
you.
had a
really
slew
fun
of
cycle
messy
for her just to
HOHs.
like see her come
Megan
alive.
is an enigma, and I love her.
She
Yeah.
is. She
Truly.
really is.
One thing I do want to
Um
mention here, before we move on into POV results and like how that kind of ends up, because Megan's enigma-ness, I think it comes into that
Enigmaticness.
conversation since she has to nominate four total people for this round. Um,
We were
It
gunning
could have
for
been.
five,
It could have
but
been
yeah,
five. We'll talk about
yeah.
that
it could have been
because we
five.
haven't talked about that part yet.
Yeah. And so one of the things that I do want to note here is that when Raven initially was nominated, there was not a tremendous amount of pushback. Because there were a lot of people in the house that were like, eh, Raven's kind of
They
crazy.
all understood why she was nominated and
Yeah,
didn't really.
it wasn't like a shock that Raven particularly was nominated. But once Bella's shield activated, that was when I think Raven's game actually really did come alive because then people were like, well, this person is going to be here for an extended amount of time. They're going to have a vote in the next 3 rounds, which we'll get to that. But they're like, but they're going to have a vote in the next 3 rounds because they can't be on the block. And so that's when people actually started including Raven in like game conversations and she got in a few alliances. Her kind of duo with Veronica has really taken off
That's been
at
really
this
fun to
point.
watch because I think that like when you were talking about like you don't um like when Raven what was like being floated and everything, there wasn't a lot of pushback. I think that
Mhm.
like I know I've mentioned this before, like in the spec lounge, I think there's not many people who would actually like put their neck out on the line for Raven because she
Correct.
has been very like crazy. But I
Yes.
do think Veronica would. So
Yes.
I think that that
yeah.
duo is like really fun to watch because it's like the only person who would actually ride for Raven, I think, in that way.
Correct.
There's other people
And
who
it
For
kind
sure.
of, but like,
and it helps that Megan and Veronica worked really closely during the HOH. And
mhm.
then they even created an alliance of their team after the HOH.
Minus Cody.
Without
Megan
Cody
and
though,
without Cody.
just them and
Yeah.
Just them
Ramses.
and Ramses.
Them and Ramsey Sports. But because they really worked well together and they really liked it and their energy was super fun. We even talked about it in the host chat, like, oh my God, I really kind of love this little duo. So I
Mhm.
think that could potentially come in good for Raven later on down the line if they're all still here. That Veronica does have a little bit of goodwill built up with Megan now after this cycle. But I did just want to mention that because while Raven isn't like a large player. She is a feature in a lot of alliances now. She
Yeah.
has one with Jason. Well, everyone has one with Jason and Dom, but we'll get there in a minute. But she has one with Jason and Dom and Veronica. She has one with Veronica and is it Mark or Matt? I can't
I think it's Mark.
There's one with Jason and Mark.
there's one with Jason and Mark. Like she's being
Yeah.
included in these now because she has that safety. And people are like, oh, we can actually work with her now because she's not just going to be gone next week because she's going crazy. And I
Mhm.
I do think that was actually a huge boon for Raven's game.
Mhm.
Um,
And she's a good shield.
and
She's
she's a great
Yeah.
shield. And
like
For
messy
sure.
as fuck. I mean,
she's kind
she's
of
a
chilled out
volatile
except
shield,
against
but
Cameron.
but
But
she's
Some people literally said like Raven's just gonna be here and then she'll miss the battle back window and be the first one out there. So like
yeah, yeah.
I can see that.
So
It's very Chelsea.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes. Very, very Halcyon.
yeah.
So yeah, POV
Not that
results.
Chelsea was out first because she won POV, but
Yeah.
Before we go to
Right.
view the results, I do want to get into that the pendant of protection, battle shield, whatever, that came with a curse. Just like in the real show, where a randomly selected house guest, not Raymond, would have to nominate themselves for one of the first 3 weeks. And by sheer, like, genuine Murphy's Law, or as I've now dubbed it, Cameron's Law, which will be this episode's title, Cameron's Law strikes, and Cameron finds himself with the nomination curse. But this season, I decided to add in another twist where people can try to break their curses at the sort of, I don't want to say detriment, but like they have to do something to their game in order to break said curse. Cameron's curse, he had to break it. He had to nom himself at one of the first 3 regular rounds of the game. But if he was able to, he could try to bank his time and try to win one of the next HOHs or vetoes. And if he doesn't win the final veto that he's able to veto, or the final HOH, he has to then nominate himself by default at the last option, anyways. And there was a brief timeline where people thought Megan was going to nominate Cameron, warn Cameron, and then Cameron was going to proc his punishment up and nominate himself, which means Megan would have had to, in essence, nominate 5 people. We didn't go down that route, but it was very close to happening. A lot of people were pushing for Cameron noms. A lot of the specs thought Cameron nom was going to happen. But yeah, Cameron came out this week unscathed. He was like,
I was rooting for that for pure chaos.
I'm just gonna bank my punishment, and if I can win a challenge, I win a challenge. We'll get into that next week as well. But
Mhm.
yeah, so Cameron has his curse. He skirts by. Raven is safe. If you things
There are
happen,
almost 5 nominees this
yeah,
week.
just like the real show, which is insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get to the real competition. We go through results, so on and so forth.
Jessica tears. She's the only
Yeah,
one without a single skip or penalty.
yeah.
for her.
Jessica clears with no skips versus Matt and Cody's one skip. So Jessica wins veto, takes herself off. Megan is hard pressed for another nomination at this point. She again goes with activity. Again, people were thinking Cameron backdoor, but nope, she does Alex at this point. And oh, Graham's pointing at Alex on the camera. So Alex, the player Alex, gets nominated. And there's a brief glimmer of hope for
And the
her.
host Alex is rooting for her downfall because of Carl highlights.
There's a brief glimmer of hope here because I believe like Kevin wants her to stay. I think Jason wanted her to stay. Someone wanted her
J-
to stay.
Jason wanted her to stay because he just like was closer with her. I would like to just point out that at this point with Elena and Alex as the final nominees, it's truly just like the ID gaff war. Like they're
Yeah.
literally both
This
just
is
like
just
who gives a fuck less about being nominated. And I will say that with Elena, like Elena has definitely
I
been
remember.
someone
Go ahead.
who
Yeah.
she's had like definitely some issues with activity, not issues, I guess, but just been like more out. She's had stuff going on, like they all do. But I
She's
do think
also
that when
been kind
she's
of vocal about like trying to not let this stress her out and trying to like be sane about it, which I do respect.
exactly,
I
which
get
is a lot of this cast. But I think when she's here and when she's kind of locked in, she has like super good insights. Like I think her reads are actually very good. She has a good sense of like where her place is in the house. So Elena comes in and she's kind of like, she wants to be nonchalant, aka degaff. But she like cares enough to kind of like, she does some campaigning and kind of banks on the relationship she does have. And like Alex comes in at like the very end, and kind of tries, but at the end of the day, like she really just degaff. Like she just really didn't give a fuck. So
that.
Elena and
I was
go
just going to
ahead.
say one thing to note with Elena, like to give her credit, is she has said, like in her diary room about this nomination, like that she knows that the person who's chill tends to stay. So she's purposefully
Yes.
trying not to rock the boat. She is trying to seem like, I'm not going to be mad at you. Like she is just trying to be very like amenable and just, happy go lucky, etc. Because, she does show enough fight to have like this strategy of, trying to figure out how, like, what tone to take with people. So I think that's worth calling out.
And yeah, the thing I
Yeah.
was going to add was it was Ramses who wanted Alex to stay the most because they were both unless I'm mistaken, they're both the only like out and proud Europeans on the cast. So Ramses really wanted her to stay so he could like have someone to talk to when he wasn't around, but it wasn't enough. It was Kevin and Ramses ended up voting with the House. I believe Kevin didn't care and voted how he wanted to. And then Cody was just being chaotic and throwing votes to throw votes because it's Cody. So yeah, it came down to a vote of 11-2, which did send Alex home. Elena won and or lost. I don't really know. The I don't give a fuck war and and
It's hard to tell
survived.
how you win.
Yeah,
I mean,
but yeah.
I will say her reads on, like Sydney said, her reads on the house are very good.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of shocking for how little that she's been around.
Mhm.
That, I mean, I think it proves to her skill as a player. I think if she can somehow stick around for a while, I think with her ability to read the house dynamics, if she can kind of slide through and then she gets to like jury and people are like, "Oh, we're not worried about Elena. We don't need to worry about her." I could genuinely see her making a run deep because of that like house perception, but
She's
her
literally,
actually begin
yeah,
to make moves and
Yeah.
ideas because she has a really good grasp on the social dynamics.
Yeah,
yeah, for
thus
sure.
I was gonna
She's
say this.
definitely like the kind of player that I like. I feel like when people talk about like kill the goats and everything, it's not less like people are goats and more kill the perceived inactives because like a lot of those people, the scary part about them is like you don't know what their full capacity is as a player. A lot of those people are really good players who are just kind of like napping, you
Yeah.
know? So like unless it's just someone like really active and terrible, like you might kind of want to snipe them before they activate and can take your ass out, you know?
It's
Like
very
Yeah.
like Joe from BB Rewind's 8 coded. And
Yeah.
I mean that genuinely, like not even an 8
yeah.
callback, but like it is very that coded where it's like, oh my God, she's like reading these people up and down. She knows exactly what's happening. They need to
There's
get her
also been
out of here before she actually does something.
there's
Yeah.
also been multiple people who have mentioned like, "Oh, Elena's actually like really nice to talk to." Like I think when she
Yeah.
logs in and has the time and like, you know, can kind of get it back and forth going with people, she's able to get a really good social flow, which I think is going to really benefit her when if she gets a little bit deeper when people are going to start looking for like votes in their pocket. You know, like
Mhm.
I think she really fulfills that like archetype of, "Oh, I can use her." And then she
Yeah.
kind of, you know, navigates around that and figures out the best path for her. I think
I was
she's
Yeah.
got a
impressed by
path.
her. I was impressed by her navigating this
Yeah.
nomination and then surviving genuinely.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I think at this point in real life, the only like tried and true person who I think I can confidently say is a goat is Josh.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
even Cameron is like on shaky ground, but I do see a world where Cameron either finally gets it through his head and turns things around, or just wins out and people have to respect it. But either way, I don't think Cameron has reached GOAT status yet. He's definitely in trouble, so socially,
No.
so to speak.
But
But
Yeah.
he's
right
also
now,
like trying.
yeah,
Like
he's
he
also
really is
trying. Yes,
trying.
Cameron is not just fucking around. He's
It's too
here.
early for
Yeah,
goats. Like it's too
Except for
early
Josh,
except
for
for
goats,
Josh.
except for
Yes.
Josh.
who was absolutely a goat. It was literally his.
He
I
might
need
as
to
well
say
just change
this
his profile
nicely.
pic to one of those screaming
It's
goats.
it's like they're dragging Josh's dead corpse around.
We'll
I
get
mean, there was no way to say it nicely, but they're literally
yeah.
just dragging him around as like fodder. Whether that's as it kind of actually reminds me of April from Six.
Yeah.
Yes,
Um,
very much
like
I
so.
kept that girl
like
around. I was like, April cannot leave yet. I need
le- and for
her.
those who aren't aware, April in BB6 was she was on the chic side, the mac and cheese bite side of the house, and she was just like chronically never online, like ghosted everybody, would get mad about everyone not thinking she was social and nominating her, even though she literally ghosted everybody. But got dragged along by the mac and cheese bites because she was a number for them and was like fully loyal to them. And I mean, it's not the exact same because I wouldn't say actually Josh has like super strong loyalties. There's not really like, I mean, I think he has people that he likes more and he's kind of getting pulled into some stuff, but I think overall, like, he's kind of just like almost like a chaos agent. Like, he doesn't really have strong loyalties. He's just like here, but it is kind of like, there are people who are seeing like, oh, this could be a number for us. Like, this is some insulation for us. Also, this is an easy nom probably in the future. So we're just going to kind of keep dragging him along and go for people who we're actually beefing with. And I think that also speaks to the fact that if people weren't beefing with each other, Josh probably would already be on the block. But like Megan wins HOH, and she's beefing with Raven, which she puts Raven up. Obviously, that doesn't work out for her. She kind of goes the more inactive route with like Alex and Elena in a sense. But spoiler for next week, that doesn't happen. It's all about beef. And spoiler to the week ahead, it's still about beef. So like, if these people weren't beefing with
This
each other,
match came out really hard at
they
each other.
did like, and they're
It,
making. So it's like they're
yeah,
actually. I also understand like when you have someone, I mean, we'll get into it more, but when you kind of have someone who you feel like there's maybe an adversarial relationship with, even if it's just something stupid or something like not like super significant, in these early stages, it kind of does make sense to go for that person over like the totally inactive
oh
Mhm.
yeah,
corpse over there that like probably will vote your way whenever he comes online like once a day.
yeah.
So
No,
I
actually,
yeah yeah. So I think like I totally understand it, and I don't think people are even wrong for not putting him up. But it's like obviously like it is insane that he honestly it was insane that Cody and Cameron didn't go up this week. Like I think that speaks to the fact that Megan, who coming into this week I thought was super great, but I didn't really know where she stood. As she wasn't like as big a player and a character yet. This HOH like pushes her into the spotlight, and I think she's really interesting because she has people she really doesn't like Raven. And she has like all these alliances. She's aligned with Veronica and Dom and Jason, who isn't. She's aligned, but then she's also like kind of protecting Cody and Cameron, even though I kind of saw Megan as being on the social dominant side of the house that would have wanted to put either one of them up. I mean, she doesn't include him in this HOH with her or this alliance with her and Ramses and Veronica. But I don't know. She definitely made a lot of interesting choices, and I don't think necessarily they were bad. Honestly, I think most of them were good choices. But I think she's kind of turned out to be like a super, like she's put it, like she's really an enigma, and it's been really interesting, kind of trying to figure her out. That's been something that I think after this week I've really enjoyed so far this season.
I think Alex said it really well, where she was like, Megan's coming out playing hard. I think
Hmm.
Megan made bold choices. Like she was very shrewd about it, right? Like she made extremely optimal choices, which was rough because she had like four, maybe five nominations to make. Like she
Yeah.
didn't nominate Cameron and Cody, but she did that in particularly because she was very strategic and shrewd about it, where she was like, I'm not going to nominate them because if other people want to nominate them, that's their business. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
people are going to do that later on. I'm not going to touch them. That gives me more leeway. But the problem is when you make other, like, I'm not going to nominate any inactives. I'm going to go for the people that I know are against me, which isn't a bad choice at all. But when you do that kind of thing, especially this early, when you play that openly kind of like aggressive and like strategic, people notice. And people are like, "Oh, Megan's gonna play." Okay. Which I think is part of the reason why Cameron and her actually ended up having a decent relationship, although not decent enough for she's still smart enough to be like, "Okay, these people are at the bottom of the house. I'm not putting them in any alliances. Like we
Yeah.
can't like
Yeah.
Yeah.
no one's gonna say yes to a Cameron Alliance right now,
Yeah.
but like, well, we'll get there. But
Well,
but it's very that vibe of like, but I do have this relationship with these people, and I think because of that, her and Cameron got along well because Cameron is all business all the time, which we'll
Keep a
get
little
to.
game vibe. Yeah.
And yeah, and so
definitely. Yeah.
I think that's why that she actually ended up getting along with him well. But yeah, I do think it is interesting that she made such bold choices so openly.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
those are very strategic choices to not nominate Josh and to like put Mark and Josh in an alliance and make them like kiss and make
Matt and
up because
Josh.
she was like, like she did a lot.
Well,
Um,
one
She
of the
did.
things she did
It
kind
was
of
fun.
say was that like the people that she didn't nominate, who everyone else calls inactive, she's like, they at least talk to me a little.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
I think like to be like, if I'm her and I'm hearing from everyone else, like, oh, this person doesn't talk at all. And I'm like, well, they talk
You
to
talk to
me.
me.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
oh,
mhm,
I'm keeping them safe because that means that
absolutely.
like they will prioritize me. Like I'm probably really high up on their list and everything. And like, yes, I'm gonna like keep that on the DL. I'm not gonna throw them in alliances, but I'm gonna keep that as like a nice side little like, oh, like I don't want people to know about like our duo. Like how in Big Brother you can
100%.
really like hide duos pretty easily, quote
Yeah.
unquote.
Yeah.
Girl, do
Um,
I know?
yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that I think they were bold choices, but I think that they were smart for
Yeah.
her for
They were.
now.
Yeah. Oh, they
I
weren't
mean,
bad at
I
all,
think
yeah.
you know.
I think the only way this could have been smarter for her is if she communicated with her allies more, especially communicated with
Yes.
her socially connected allies more. You know,
Mhm.
really kind of make, because they're probably going to have like some of the same thoughts to a certain degree. So, like, if you kind of make it feel like a group decision, a
Mhm.
bonding moment, you know, like, because with these power players, that's how they feel like they have control, is like by having input or at least insight into the HOH and their decisions. So, if you make them feel locked out, they're going to get freaked out about that. And then they're going to start taking their little social army and trying to turn it against you down the road. So, like, at least make them feel involved. Yeah, Graham is making a little like cutesy movement right there because of his hate crimes against Shelley. So,
I just
Yeah.
wanted
Well,
to.
go
I
ahead, Jinx.
but
was
yeah,
going to
sorry. Go
say
on.
before we forget that there was two things I wanted to add. That the Megan thing here with like not nominating the inactive, it was something I also had in mind in 15, where I was like,
Oh, no
okay,
one.
shut up, Graham. You talked about your win, I'm talking about mine. So I was in the same boat. I was like, I like
Shanks doesn't
Magic.
mention it's his winning game. It
Yeah.
is though. Some
It was
people
like
mention they're winning games.
No, I didn't say wow. I said wow. First thought, no inactives. That's what I said. I wasn't
well,
commenting on
okay.
you talking about 15. I was giving a Cappy quote.
I was gonna say, like, I had the same thought process of like Pablo is really not giving anything in DMs to me, but we made a deal. I'm like, someone will nominate him next week. And like Magikarp, I made a dumbass Pokemon alliance with, and I'm like, someone else will nominate these people next week.
Which,
It
by the
doesn't have
way,
to be
was
me.
fully called. Everyone was going, they
And
probably
I
need a
was
fucking
like,
Pokemon
and I'm
Alliance.
like, that's fine because guess what? That's a seat on the block that I don't have to do when it's someone that
No, but
I'm not.
that's real.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm like, so I
Mhm.
understand why Megan did that, so to speak. I think it's a good
Oh,
strategy when you have other
absolutely.
alliances, when there's other lesser active, when you have options of lesser active people to work with, or your own, like, they don't talk to me. Like, when I nominated Hades, people are like, what the fuck? I'm like, Hades did not talk to me from when I won HOH till I nominated him. So I'm like, yeah, of course I'm gonna nominate him. Like the
You should have asked him about Persephone. Okay.
fuck. So yeah, there's that, and then there's also another thing I want to know before I don't forget was Elena and Dominique here. We have a weird misstep from
Oh
Dominique
yeah.
that
Oh,
she
Uh,
yeah.
later
That was,
she
I was about to say we need to
yeah
touch on Jason and Dom because they are these power players we're talking about, but because everything else has been so wacko, we haven't really mentioned
yeah.
them so far
This
for
is
this
where
Well,
one.
and
Jason
they're
gets the
But this
edge
is
over
where
Dom.
we can
Yeah,
transition to that. Yeah, go for
let
it.
me say something real quick before, because I want to kind of
go
set the
for it.
stage for Jason and Dom since we haven't talked about them. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's been very weird. Like with Jason and Dom, like cycle one, cycle two, pretty much cycle three, like these are consistently our number one, number two, maybe like top three, four players. Like Jason and Dom are connected to everybody. Everybody wants to work with them. Almost everybody has them high on their TRs. And they've also like, I think naturally from day one clocked like they had a similar energy. They really melded with each other. So they've also like combined their social powers. Like they are very close. They work very closely. They're not like,
aren't they
I don't
mutual
think,
final twos? Did they do that? Did I make that up? It
if
be
not officially, I mean, they act
okay.
that way. So
We
either,
seem
I
like
mean, yeah,
an actual like reciprocal duo at the very least, right?
yes,
Yeah,
for
okay.
sure. Like, yeah. And I think that they're interesting because they are playing their own games. Like they're not, there's not one of them that I think is kind of like the lesser or the one that's kind of doing more or whatever. Like they're independent players who
Hello.
organically, I think, really liked each other, who organically kind of came
I
together
thought you
and,
did.
well, what the hell? Couldn't meet himself. Okay. Anyway, thanks, Jinx. So they organically come together. They're also just like naturally this these two amazing social players.
Mhm.
So people just start like flocking around them. Like just like I mean, honestly, I think Dom said at one point like she has not herself requested a single alliance. Maybe now she has, but like for the first like two or three cycles, every alliance she was put in, she did not ask for. Like it was
Which is
just
wild
kind of
because they're in like seven or eight.
they're in
It's like
so
fucking
many.
insane.
They're
For
in
it's
so many.
That's a conversation we'll talk about in a minute. Of there are so many alliance chats in this game, but the
There
alliances
are.
Thank
mean
you, Kadabra, for
absolutely
managing
fucking
them so we
nothing.
don't have to do that because
No,
absolutely.
literally.
Yeah, they make absolutely no they have no loyalty to them.
3/4 of them are dead, by the way. They
Yeah,
are
there's
simply just
just
Yes,
like,
yes, like just
there's so many of
useless.
them and none of them matter. Like
yeah.
it's so
Yes,
strange to me. It's such a weird thing to see. It's like it's
it
all like
is.
one-on-one interpersonal like
It
relationship,
is.
even though there's like
Well,
17
yeah.
billion minutes chats.
And that's the other thing, the thing that I feel like makes Dom and Jason kind of interesting. Like they're in this weird position, I think, in terms of the outside perspective, like our perspective, because they are such dominant social players and they are so integral to like the larger power structure in the house. But as the personalities, they're really under the radar to like the America and the spectators. Like I think the spectators and us, we all like Jason and Dom. Like they're great, they're delightful. But we have like Raven, you know, obviously calling people sluts and fat and whatever. And we have Megan being like insane on this HOH. We have Veronica who
by the
like
way,
comes
I'm
in.
sorry. We need to find a time to shoehorn in to discuss the fact that Megan, for her nomination ceremony, was it the Saw theme? Was that the theme?
Yes, it was
I
she saw.
Yeah, I
It's
need
true.
someone to recap that who remembers it more. I
Okay.
just remembered it was
Here,
Okay.
insane,
I'll
and
pull
we
it up.
really need to honor that.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's do it now because I think it only speaks to the fact that what I'm about to say, which is that Jason and Dom, though they are super social and so important to power structure, like they have been totally overcome by these insane personalities and
Mhm.
all these people fighting. So it's like even though they are so powerful in the house, like they almost seem like they're not. And I don't and I know that it seems that way to the house guests, but it seems that way to me. Like even I was kind of like, wow, Dominic and Jason are yet again at the top, but it's because there's so much happening and there's so many players that are just like so over the top and bringing so much to the table in so much chaos that like Jason and Dom really like kind of just slide by a little bit,
It's so
which has
good
been
for them.
interesting.
Like it is
They're just never
genuinely
gonna win like a Den of
so
Temptation
good
thing,
for
but
them.
like that's fine, like
Yeah.
No, it's amazing. But
yeah,
yeah,
it's good for them.
Jinx, please do a reading of
Yeah,
Alrighty.
Megan's HOH nomination
So
ceremony
we've got Megan pulling up at the deadline, by the way. She comes in
on the dot.
at 11. Well, the deadline was noon. She's like, okay, guys, there's too many of you for me to just do one by one who's safe. I'm just gonna do the two people who are nominated. See you in 56 minutes instead of just doing it right then and there when her mind was so clearly made up. That's one thing.
I'm
Second thing,
obsessed.
she pulls up with a fucking Billy the Puppet gif. Yet another hello. Want to play a game? Hi everyone. So this choice was almost entirely based on who made an effort to talk to me before my name became pretty in pink, because the HOH color is pink. It's still very early in this game, and so there isn't really any type of mastermind strategy associated with this. The first person I'm going to be nominating is Jessica. There's nothing personal there. We just haven't spoken much, and I'm having trouble deciding the second person to put up. So, alas, I'm sorry I have to nominate you this early, especially after the recent birth of your 12th child, because the real Jessica and Cody just had their like 800th baby or some shit. I don't fucking know. Another girl, because they can't have a boy. And then the continuous
Anti-Elon.
speech. Yes. The first person I decided to put up, however, I decided early on. First impressions are everything. And unfortunately, I was left with a bad taste in my mouth immediately upon our first interaction. You also have spoken to me the least out of everybody, aka not at all insulting me off the bat. And so for that reason, Raven, I'm gonna nominate you as well. Sorry. And then we asked for any more words. Thank you to everybody else who's being nice to me, including Jessica. You've been nice, just quiet, even before I had this nice little role. And then we proc the fucking shield protection pendant, whatever the fuck, and that is the nomination ceremony a la Jigsaw via Megan.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you for
And we
that.
loved every minute of it.
She was
Um,
also excited about the prospect of a bachelorette style key ceremony. So
Giving out the rose one
I
by
don't know. I
one.
feel like we should honor melodrama in general.
Yeah, that is
yeah.
another thing where Cody has just been like begging people to give him a son. Other favorite
Cody
line
is like,
of the
so
season.
Cody has not gone full real life Cody Nixon, who's also apparently running to be a Texas House rep or whatever the fuck. So good for him. So
Hope he loses.
yeah, he's like,
Not our
yeah,
Cody, the real Cody.
he's like, I need a son. Who's gonna give me a son? I need my American alliance. Just nominating me would be so un-American. So on. He's into the character, but he's not into it in a disgusting
Oh
way.
yeah,
And
he's one of the MAGA
yeah, yeah.
girlies.
And I think it's really funny. I love when people can get into their characters Especially when we give
Oh, same.
the bigots to the most funniest option, like shout out Ray. We gave Jeff Schroeder fucking Ray, and it was the funniest thing we've done in a while. And I every time we have someone who's problematical, if we were gonna cast Jackson Mickey in this, which we're not, I would find, with all due respect, the twinkiest person I could find on this app and put them behind Jackson Mickey and let them roll for the whole season. And it'd be so
He's running
funny.
a twink off in his DM. Sounds like something.
Literally, we would cast Frankie
Wow.
Grande themselves.
We would get the real life Frankie Crockett. But yes,
Juan
Cody.
comes back for his third time.
Oh God. Blaze
Uh,
comes back for his skirt.
yeah, literally.
Twin twist. Twink twist.
Twink twist.
Pink twist.
So yes,
Speaking of
Cody
the
wants a son, so that's that on Cody.
as we
Did
roll.
we get to the Dom and Elena thing though? Did we?
No,
I
we
stepped
did
away.
not.
I don't know
Okay,
what happened to
okay.
Roscoe.
Got distracted by Cody
Let
Seaman.
me
Sorry.
just briefly go back. Let me briefly go back. So we talked about Dom and Jason and kind of how they're in this really great but interesting spot visibility wise. They're doing awesome. Dom, I think at this point, her only misstep she's done in this game, obviously from the beginning to this point, is that she clearly had a preference, and I do think it was like a slight preference, but she had a preference that Alex, I think, stay here. And she didn't really, I think probably because it was a slight preference, she didn't really want to push it. So she's in her alliance chat, like, guys, who are we voting out? And everyone's like, yeah, I don't know. I think I prefer that Elena stay. And she's like, well, I guess that's fine with me. Like a little bit passive aggressive, but nothing crazy. And then she goes in Elena's in her one-on-ones with Elena. Was this before or after Elena got out? Or
This is
Alex got out, I
before.
mean.
It was before.
Oh, this is before. Yeah, it was
It
for
was
sure before.
during the vote. It was really bad, and they both commented on it. It was a really awkward
So did Dom
interaction.
clock that it was bad?
Dom clocked it like days later. Elena clocked it immediately. He was like really pissed off about it.
I think Elena
Okay.
clocked it immediately and was annoyed about it. And Dom
I'm
thought that
trying
there
to
was
So
like
here,
an
I
find.
energy
found it. I
shift
can read the
between her and
transcript.
Okay,
Elena.
okay, please do.
But
So
then like I think I remember her going like, wait, like, I think Elena said something to Dom, like, I want to clear the air or whatever. And then I think Dom, like, I think that's when Dom like really realized that she was kind of a little bit of a dumb bitch. Like,
yeah. So
respectfully.
they were talking. I don't really have the. I'm looking at the screenshots. They're talking about something, and then Dominique hit her with like the girl bye, and then Elena was like, she's like, you're so funny. And Elena was like, I try. I hope you're going to give me a vote to stay and get to hear more of my white bread humor. And Dominique hit the not just the skull emoji, the crossbone skull emoji. She's like, Elena, not this. And then Elena goes to
And
her
chat.
DR like.
That's
Dominique
it.
does
What
not
the
give
fuck?
any words of comfort. Literally the opposite. Don't girl by
Like,
someone on the block, and then when they respond to the vote, respond like, not this. And
To the
then,
point where Elena is convinced that Dominique is one of the votes against her until both people who voted for her told her.
yeah.
Like,
Literally.
And
Dominique really fumbled that.
then we get 2 days later, Dominique finally talks about it in her DR, because that's when she realized.
Yeah.
She said she was at the movies, come back, talking to Elena, saw this. She's like, Elena didn't message me for a full day, and I was starting to get annoyed with her because I voted to save her, and lo and behold, I was the reason she didn't respond to me. And I know exactly why I responded that way because I was half asleep and I just forgot that I responded. But yeah, then she like had to address it with Elena. She was like, I like Elena. I want her to be comfortable. I don't want her pushing anyone against me. And like when she is here, she's a good conversationalist as long as I'm not dropping the ball and dropping Elena, not this with skull and crossbones emoji. So I will give Dominique props for clocking herself. Maybe a
Yeah.
few days later, about like 48 hours later, but she got there
Yeah.
eventually.
It did
No,
also
she
take
did.
Elena being like, hey, girly, can we talk about this? Because, like, I want to clear the air. I like you. I want to move forward with you. But, like, this is a little bit of a shadow right now. And
Yeah.
I do respect also Elena for having that conversation with her. Because sometimes you do just have to, like, have those combos with people. Be like,
Yeah.
all right, can we just,
Yeah.
like, squash this? Because, like, it's dumb. It's stupid. And, like, I'd rather us just, like, get over it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
Yeah.
little gaff did knock Jason to the top of the PRs this week and just bumped down to number 2 ever so slightly. But they're
Mhm.
still 1 and 2. It's very interchangeable. So I mean,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I
So,
think
yeah.
if we're all clear, we can start moving into cycle 3. If anyone has anything
Yeah.
else.
Well, officially, did we say the official vote count for
Yeah, I
Alex
said
Violina?
11 by 11 to
Okay.
2, Alex was evicted
Yep.
and sent off to join
Yep.
sequester with Christmas.
Quite unceremoniously.
Yeah. We'll
Like
get into
And fuck the
unceremonious
Eagles.
evictions.
I was gonna say, not
We'll have
entirely
another
agree with some.
unceremonious eviction in a second.
like it feels so bad just to be like, yep, Alex is voted out 11 to 2, but it's like literally as Sydney said, it was like the ID gaff war. Like it was like
I
Yeah.
feel bad for Brandon. He still hasn't been able to do his interview, has he?
no.
I DM'd Alex and Next Boot on their mains to be like, hey, interview and battle back stuff. And yeah, so we'll just maybe
Jessica has
Alex,
reached out to
Justice for
bring
Laura.
yeah,
yeah,
maybe
That's
Alex's
Jessica has
amazing.
reached out to
id
Laura
gaff
trying
has
to
ended its
schedule.
last gaff. I don't know. But let's move into cycle 3, shall we?
Period. Yeah.
Do we have
Can't
to?
wait.
Unfortunately,
Uh,
Graham, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Oh
Cody
yeah,
did
I
it.
know. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, like it was a great week, but
Graham, this is your
uh
week. You made the comps.
it's true.
I did.
So we're going into the
Diva
final
down.
the final paired HOH team, whatever the fuck. We're going to just regular HOH out of this, but we go
Final
in
group HOH, one could say.
we go in with wavelength here.
Meanwhile, we're like talking all of our house guests off a ledge. Like, we swear this is the last one where you'll have to depend on the timing of others. Please don't walk. Please stay with us.
I don't know if we've ever done walk prevention more than any other season, and we're only in week 4 right now. It's
Oh my
exhausting.
God, I know it. I was just like, girls, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be
Yeah.
okay.
Like,
It was
But
a struggle
Brandon
to get
winner.
these people in here in the first place. Now we've got to keep them in there. But yeah, we get its wavelength. I think we all know how wavelength works. If you don't, you get a clue. There's a scale. You gotta tell your partner a clue to make them hit the right number on the scale without like
I
telling
love
them what the
wavelengths so
answer
much.
is. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's a fun one. But yes, so
It is
we
a
have
fun one.
wavelength. We get a lot of pairs. Not much. People really go. The funniest moments that come in are with certain pairs. Like Cody and Jillian go up first. I don't remember which one of them wanted to throw, but it was so bad. The first one, it was
Neither of them wanted to throw. That's what's like.
oh,
I
they
think
didn't
maybe
want to throw.
Jillian. I think maybe Jillian was like maybe, but Cody, I know definitely for sure wanted to win, and he's really the one that fucked it all up for them
Yeah,
because in the
we
middle and right before he starts answering, he goes, I have a good strategy for this. I just figured it out, and he literally his strategy is just putting 50 for everything, which was not a good strategy. Which was
Except for the
not a good
first one.
strategy.
the
Yeah,
first
Except
except
for
for
the
the
first
first
one, which
question.
is
one.
like happy versus
Yeah,
sad.
it was
And
happy sad.
question
Yeah,
the thing was the
the
opening for
opening of
Up.
Up. Yeah,
Yeah, the opening of Up. And he guessed happy. Like basically 88, I think, which was happy, right?
Uh-huh.
yeah.
And yeah, so we're pretty sure he just messed it up and like confused the scale. However, I really choose to believe that
Cody
Cody,
hates the
it
elderly.
like it brings him joy to think about the downfall of the elderly and just like in general the death of love and hope and happiness.
The
And
death of a
I
loved
love that
one.
for him.
Yeah, he loves that shit.
Yeah.
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 And Cody's not the only one that kind of like fumbles with like the clue and like understanding the scale and stuff. It was really,
Literacy is rampant in this community.
and then I think the next two funny moments are like Mark and Josh. Mark's trying to throw. There's some weird bit with Hilo Hawaii. I didn't
Oh
host
no,
that one. Yeah,
I can
go
speak
for
to this. I can
Oh,
speak to this. So, first of all, can I just say, I didn't even know Josh was online enough, but Mark is like, yeah, I really like Josh. Like, that's my man. Like, I really want to win this so he can be protected. And I'm thinking, like, when did you guys become friends? I didn't know Josh had any friends. So good for you, Josh. So I find out one that Mark and Josh like each other. Great. And then they start playing, and I think Mark did decide he's like, I need to throw this, which was a good move for him because Mark is another player who is doing very well in the house, but like
Mhm.
he's just like a really normal guy, so he just doesn't stick out very much. But
yeah.
like
I forgot
everybody,
about him, but like he is doing well.
no,
Like
he's doing so well. Like
he's doing
everybody
really
likes
well.
him. He's like just like kind of universally well liked in the house. Like everyone fucks with him. He's like pretty high on everyone's TRs for the most part. Like he's doing very well. And he correctly, I think, reads that like it's probably not best that he win this. I can't even remember who was gonna be HOH between them, but it doesn't even matter. So
I think it
Mark
was
is
him,
like,
and he
I
didn't want
probably
it.
okay,
Yeah.
there you go. So Mark's like, I need to throw this probably because like it's probably best I don't win this, which is correct for him. But he's like also like not really throwing it. Like he's kind of like, I don't know, he's kind of giving a mid effort, but Mark, I think, gives the clue of Hilo, Hawaii. So it's rainy to sunny. And when you Google Hilo, Hawaii, it's like this one of the rainiest places in like the whole nation, maybe the world. And is it Mark that was guessing or Josh that was guessing?
Let me see if I
I
can do
can't.
that.
I think that was a Josh clue because I feel like it was just insane and like random, which feels like a Josh trait. Spiritually, I feel like it's Josh. I'm making a soul read right there.
I think it was Josh.
Yeah,
Okay,
Josh
so
was giving the
Yes,
clues. Mark was
Period.
guessing the
yes.
I
numbers.
was right.
So Josh is obviously not trying to throw, as you know, and Mark kind of is. Josh gives the clue Hilo, Hilo, Hawaii, and Mark gives us actually commentary. He says, interesting. So I had to look this up because I wasn't sure what it was, and I'm seeing it's a town in Hawaii. There's also a couple of brands called Hilo, but I don't think that makes any sense as a clue. So I'm going with the town. Now, I don't know much about this town, but I'm assuming it's Hawaii. It's pretty sunny. So let's go with 97. We found out Hilo is like one of the rainiest fucking cities in the country. I'm pretty sure that the number was supposed to be 34.
Yeah.
So that was a differential of 63. So that squarely
Yeah.
they know they've lost that competition.
But
And that was
thank
a
you
great
for
moment.
reminding me though of like the joy of seeing people talk through
Oh,
Yes.
we're
their
gonna get
thought
to Raven
process.
in another
We
Yep.
second.
will be getting to Raven in a
As
second.
long
Yeah,
as we
for
get to
sure.
Raven, because that
Let's
was
let's
a
move on
delight.
to that right now,
Well, I
actually.
was gonna before
Yeah.
we got to that, I was
Great
gonna
segue.
touch on that. We get to the competition. There's two teams that haven't gone yet: Jason and Jessica, and Raven and Veronica. And the spotlight here is honestly on both of them because we have Jason, who they could not get their schedules to work. Jason was trying to drag Jessica's corpse, bless her heart, to the starting line. For like, not the starting line, for fuck's sake. He was like, okay, I'm gonna be the guesser. I'm gonna be the clue giver. I'm gonna give a clue and just have Jessica, whenever she comes on, she can just start guessing and I'll just try to make it work. And then Jessica comes
He's
on
like,
and
this
she's
isn't
like,
time based, right? I can
yeah.
just say a clue and she can say something and I'll work around
Mind
it. But
you,
like,
mind you,
like
this was
work.
our oversight on hosting. We didn't think of a tiebreaker. It probably should have been time based for
No,
tie-breaking purposes.
the tiebreaker was going to be time,
But
but
I told people time doesn't matter, so I was like, well,
you
shit.
did
Yeah.
what? We'll talk about this later.
So I'm sitting here like, because Jason was fucking panicking, and I know I told someone else. So I'm like, oh my god, okay.
Oh God,
So I'm
what a
just like, if it was
At
gonna
that
tie,
point, time did not matter. Just
if it
let
was
him
gonna
know.
tie, I was gonna like I was gonna make a round on the spot and like tell them to do it. Anyways,
yeah,
so yeah,
that works.
so Jason's like, I'm gonna do it. And then Jessica comes online. She's like, hi, I'm having a breakdown. Like, today's been a really hard day. And I'm like, Jessica, go hide in the bathroom or something. Just do this, please. And then she's like, if I go in the bathroom and start crying, I'm not gonna get out. I'm like, oh my God. So, but then they get this together. Jessica messes up a clue and makes them lose when they were about to tie. That's whatever. And then we get to the highlight of the true evening. Raven and Veronica, who
Yeah.
Raven Veronica
Can
went to
I do
bed.
this?
Yeah,
Can I do
just
this since I
yes.
hosted them, please?
Yeah, I was gonna
Because
say
for
Veronica went
I
to
really want to
bed.
see a firsthand account.
Veronica went to bed.
But
She
I
was
just
like,
consumed
"I
it
got this,"
later.
and then she
This
wake up
is
like,
the
"Raven,
part.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know it was a team comp." And then she stayed up all night waiting for Raven, and then Sydney take it
She
away.
had timers
yes.
like every
Yeah.
15 minutes to check in with the server to see if Raven was conscious. Like
Mm-hmm.
she was
Mm-hmm.
dedicated. It was
Like this was
amazing.
a primary source account of
And yes, and I will say, like, I actually think
These are the sacred texts.
Raven and Veronica had already like become a duo at this point. Like they really loved each other's energy, but I think something really cemented like a soul bond after this competition for them, which I love that. So yeah, so as she said, like Veronica comes online, she's like, sending her gazillion gifts as usual, being like, I'll wait for you, I'll wait for you. So then
Just twerking at
she
her.
yes. So Shinx gives the 1 hour warning. Veronica says, by the power of Father, Son, and House of Coochie, I summon upon Raven Walton from the gods and goddesses above to do a ritual dance and wake up to do this HOH and serve cunt in a Mensa way with that video of Trisha Paytas getting tomatoes thrown at her while she does a meditation pose. And then literally a minute later, Raven shows up. Raven shows up. And it's like, wow, what a beautiful meeting of the minds.
I feel like this
So
is not the first time this season where I've said witchcraft works. Okay.
The Etsy witches
Sorry.
came back from BB.
Witchcraft
The
works.
Etsy witches came from BB27 to BBR19. They're here. They are
Yep.
locked in. They're
Mhm.
putting in the order.
It really worked out for them. So they are now here. They're gonna play the competition. That's great. So they're working out like how it works. They're figuring out all their stuff. That's great. So they decide that Veronica will give the clue. and Raven will give her guess. So, and this is like a public channel, like the specs can see it, their duo channel. So we're all watching because this is also they're the last to run it. And Veronica, I do think so. Veronica's the one that would win the HOH, and I think Veronica wanted it. Like
Yeah.
she wasn't
Raven
gunning for
especially
it.
did not want it because Raven was like, I don't want to waste my
Yeah,
safety with the HOH. I want to
Yeah.
play as
yeah,
safe as I
and
can.
Veronica, I wouldn't say was like gunning. Like she wasn't like I need this HOH, but like she wanted to win. So they were trying to be competitive.
I mean,
They
why
did
And
pretty
I
wouldn't you
think
want
well.
your
Raven,
duo to win? Like that's ideal, TBH.
yeah,
Like
of
it's not
course,
you, but someone you can control / have
yeah.
pretty good input for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they both had a shared interest in Veronica winning
Mhm.
this HOH. So just have to say that Raven was trying. Like this was genuinely. This is actually from the beginning of the game to this point. I've never seen Raven take anything seriously except for this competition. Like
Yeah.
Raven really like became. She started becoming insightful in ways that were confusing to me.
That was
So
shocking.
Sprinkling is
yeah.
canonically rain.
Yeah, so she has like so she's actually they actually did very well. I think they came in second in this competition.
They did.
It's like
Yeah.
yeah, so they
It's
did
very
very
close
well.
second.
Very close second. So they do on the first round, and then we get to light and dark. And light and dark, I believe that they needed an 87 for dark, right? So Veronica says dusk. I think that's a good clue. So Raven goes, okay, so dusk is like this shit, and then sends a picture of the sun setting and starts going into like, so it's becoming light, but it's still more dark than it is light. Wait, that's dawn. Dusk is becoming dark. It's like the darkest part before night actually begins. So she's like speeding poetry.
A
She gives
freshman like smoking her
we
first
have
joint.
we
Like
have
I
some
don't know.
bangers from round one, like miserable is worse than sad, low key. One is
yeah,
like
she and
depressed.
Yeah.
yeah, and with rainy and sunny, which is the next clue, Veronica says sprinkling, and we get the beautiful one that is okay. So obviously less than 50 because sprinkling is canonically rain. So just all in all, like they were just, I mean, they were hilarious. So then I start trying to score them in their duo channel. And every time I'm pulling out the round and I'm doing the math, and y'all know me, like my hands are shaking doing math. I'm like, oh my God. In my calculator, like trying not to fuck it up somehow. And every time I send a message, Veronica sends this stupid fucking clapping gif. And eventually I'm like, Veronica, stop. Stop sending gifts. I'm trying to score y'all. So at the end of the day, it was very funny. And I thought it was actually a sweet moment that it really showed Raven and Veronica again. Like, I do think they're actually really invested in each other. Like,
Yeah.
Raven obviously wants Veronica to win, Veronica wants to win. And like, Raven really took it seriously. And they got very close. So it was a really good try. But unfortunately for them, unfortunately for Cameron comes out on
We
top here,
are
him and Elena, and Cameron
down
becomes
to the
HOH.
last group. And this is where Cameron commits his first faux pas of many of this cycle.
Mhm.
Because Elena,
Oh, right. I forgot
Yeah.
about
Elena,
this.
as
is what I
they
was gonna get
begin, they are
into.
the winning team. So I was saving them for last because I wanted to talk about this.
Oh,
Yeah.
period. I love that for you. You're like, I was waiting for my moment.
Because Elena, and I mean within seconds of them being put in the HOH channel. We've been talking about Elena last cycle where she like had these really good reads on the house, kind of knew what was going on. She was like, hey, I was just on the block. I would really love to be HOH. Like, I promise I will keep you safe if we win. Like, you absolutely have my guarantee. Like, you're not hitting the block regardless of what happens because you're my partner. That would be fucked up. Like, I don't want to do that.
Mhm.
Like, but I would really like HOH this week because since I was on the block, I really need to like cement myself in the house. You never have someone be so blatant and bold usually of like, hey, I'd really like the HOH and these are my reasons. Like
Mhm.
that doesn't usually happen. Especially in the early rounds, it's usually like people like fighting to see who can throw harder. It was like, so this is
Or
very,
like, I wouldn't mind it. I mean, like,
I
if
mean, I
someone
guess if
can
you
give
don't
it
want it,
to-
I'll
if
okay,
take
I
I'll take
it.
have
one
to
for the
take
But
it,
team.
yeah.
Like,
if
yeah.
someone
Yeah,
has to take it, I'll do it. But I don't
this
want
was
it.
Elena being like, hey, I want to be HOH this week, like, whatever. And then Cameron comes back and is like, no. Like, and it wasn't like a discussion. So
Because remember, Cameron has his curse that he needs to break so he doesn't like nominate himself.
there
Because
was
if he's
no
the final
He
nom,
was
discussion.
he will
no,
go home.
he was like, I'll be real, like I'll be real. I really want to be HOH this week, and I don't want to send us to a deadlock. Like he literally said, I don't want to send us to a
I
deadlock.
didn't think that was
Yeah.
a threat. They thought it was a threat, so I don't
That
know.
is absolutely a
No, it's
fucking threat. How
absolutely
is
a
that not
threat.
a
Are you
threat?
I
kidding?
thought he was just saying, like, I don't want to disagree and then be deadlocked. He's not saying make me do it
No,
or
No.
that's
we're
him
gonna
saying
deadlock.
When
that
you
that
say
is
I
him
don't want
saying,
to
and
make it
I
a
don't want like I am not moving and I don't want to send us to a deadlock. So you better fucking
so
yield
you
because
need to
I'm
stand
willing to go
down.
to rocks in a
Yeah,
survivor turn.
that's what it is
Like
literally saying. I will not be changing my mind. I
yeah.
don't want us to go to a deadlock because I'm not going to change. So what are you going to do? I mean, it was very more like
And
blunt
Cameron, if
and
that was not your
straightforward and
intent,
blunt.
that is how you came off, but it worked for you,
He didn't
Kings.
come off that way to
It did work
me.
for you.
So
It did work for you. It did work for you.
Yeah.
If you're listening after the season.
my one hang up here is that I don't know why he didn't just tell her about the curse. I don't know
Thank
why he
you.
wanted to keep it secret. He was allowed to talk about it. I never
Thank you.
said
Yeah,
don't talk about it.
and it
He
would
could
have
have
been
just said like, yeah, you want to, I'll keep you safe. Well, he did say I'm gonna keep you safe, but he was like, I have a thing. I got the random nomination curse. If I win a comp, I can break it. So I just want to win, and
that would have
that was
been
so
so
simple.
easy. That would have been so easy.
I will
I
say he went about
think
it the wrong way. I don't think he was threatening her, but
He did.
regardless, he went about it the very wrong
See,
way.
the thing with
Regardless,
me,
especially
yes.
because the curse
Like
was
I
real.
understand putting your foot down, but like you've got to at least like use that as a way to create a game bond with like between you
Yeah.
to like kind of put out that like sign of trust before it gets revealed in fucking announcements or whatever. Like
Yeah, and also
that was
this was
really
like
an opportunity for him to like create this like prioritized bond between him and Elena. Like neither of them are like honestly, they both need like reinforcements for
yeah.
lack of a better word, and I think that this is just a little bit of a fumble on his part.
yeah, and that's the thing too, is that the curse was random. So it wasn't even like he
Yeah.
specifically got targeted for it. So it's so easy to be like, I got this thing somehow. Like I gotta get like I would love to have HOH and then have that. So anyway, that's the first of Cameron's many faux pas this week. And I say faux pas because I'm trying to figure out how to go about this. Um, because they're not wrong. Like they're just done poorly. Like you said, I think we've talked about this.
We have notes.
I think
There.
Cameron winning HOH was genuinely a great move for him this
Yeah,
week.
no, he
Yeah.
should
I
have.
think
Yeah.
For sure.
everything that he did about it went poorly. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I think every decision he made was right for him. I think every single way he went about it was wrong. Like it was like it's just like
Cameron's Law is real, but he had some input into its poor
He
effects.
he did it
Like,
he
yeah,
redefined Cameron's Law
he
this
did it
week.
yeah,
to himself, literally. Like
it could have
there
been better. Yeah.
me victim blaming. Like genuinely, he did it to himself. Like it
No,
was
sometimes victims do need to be blamed. I'm sorry.
That's
It's
crazy.
concrete.
yeah. Anyway, and so Elena is like,
Can't even
oh,
keep a straight face. I'm
fuck
sorry.
Cameron forever. I mean, like genuinely, Elena's like, well, okay,
Yeah.
well, fuck Cameron. And then I
I
guess
believe on Elena's trust ranking, she put Cameron at number one with the caveat, like, I don't like him, but I trust him. And that was the funniest
yes.
thing. Like, he
Yeah.
kept me safe. I don't like him, but I
Yeah.
need to work with
And
somebody.
she loves to use the phrase bigger fish to fry. And
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
for her positioning, she's correct.
She's like,
Yeah.
he's got bigger
Yeah.
fish to
No,
fry than me.
yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
She was like, he's not putting me up. He obviously doesn't care about talking to people socially. Pure
Yeah.
game. I don't think I'm any threat to him, so I think we're good. But like, fuck Cameron forever. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so, um, but yeah, it was that. But that was what Elena came out of it. And but the other thing too is that Elena also came out of that with like, should I leak this bracelet alliance thing?
Oh, yeah,
What
because
Yeah.
she
the two big
saw?
things happen here after Cameron's HOH. Number one, he gets the second Den of Temptation, which was the Ring of Replacement in real life. I named it I'm gonna butcher this. I think the Quillette phase. Did I say that right, Sydney? I don't know. I apologize to the Native American community if I butchered that. But the Quillette phase, because the
Stop
shapeshifters.
saying it.
I don't
Stop
know how to say
saying
it! The werewolf shapeshifter phase.
Graham and Sydney both look horrified, and
I'm
I'm just
asking y'all how to
confused
say
and
it.
white.
The
I don't
coolie,
know what's
I don't
happening.
know. I'm not gonna
No, just
try
keep
anymore.
going. I like it. Why not?
The werewolf community, Native American shape-shifting indigenous people phasing.
Indigenous
right?
Peoples Day Abbott phase.
The indigenous people's phasing the werewolf clan, where he can phase the veto draw after it happens and insert himself into the competition in lieu of someone else. And he has this for the entire season until veto draws are done. If he is HOH,
Wait, it's for the whole season?
yeah, it's the whole season.
I really need to read our rules more.
Jesus.
And the only caveat I changed from the real show is that if he's HOH or Nom and wants to substitute someone else in, then he can do that. Or otherwise, it's only subbing yourself in if you're not already on the block or whatever. So he wins that.
Mhm.
He gets the power, and then the curse here. We have to talk about this curse.
Oh
The
my
curse.
God. This curse.
Mm-mm.
The curse was an ugly profile picture punishment of Nessie, the Renesmee doll that we talked about last episode. He gave the punishment to Kevin, Matt, and Raven. I put their faces on the dolls, and I was like, you have to put one of our plethora of Nessie emojis at the start and end of our messages until the next HOH is over. You have to try, and you have to like naturally work the word imprint into at least 5 of your conversations every single day. And I guess that was too much for Raven and Matt because they both said fuck this. But here's the catch. Breaking the curse meant you had to give up your next eviction vote. So Raven, who was immune, was like, fuck this. She gave up her curse, so she was already not voting this week. And then Matt here gave up his vote because he said he was going away for the weekend and didn't want to like have to be barely socializing and have a punishment on top of that. So I understand why from a real life context, but from the game
No,
context, it
I
was just
don't.
not the right call for
no,
Matt to
I
do.
I don't even understand from a real life concept. Like,
He said he was
I
going to be flying and stuff, and he didn't want to be online for like 5 minutes at a time trying to do a punishment and like force the word imprint every time he talked, which I do get if you're going to be traveling all day and barely
if you're
online.
gonna be traveling all day, you're not gonna be talking. So why do you fucking care?
Because I said they have to do it 5 times every day. So that means you have to
Alex
talk to
and
people
I,
Okay,
5 times a
then
day.
just pop on, do it 5 times in some
and
of your
leave.
channels, and then pop off. Like,
They said they
Alex
were
and I
look.
are appalled, by the way,
I
to the
am
mere
appalled by this
child.
shit. I'm sorry. There's no excuse.
And we'll
Alex is
see.
indignant.
We will see the
I
karma for
am
this come
indignant.
quickly. So Matt
I'm
and
sorry,
Raven,
unless there's like a legitimate, like real life tragedy that you don't even want to like be around the game, then no, there's no reason why like a PFP punishment and like throwing like a couple like an emoji into your DMs and everything is like something to give up
Your
your
vote.
vote for. Your vote is your
Yeah.
voice in the game. That
Yeah.
is like your power with your alliances and everything. Like if you give up your vote as my if you are my ally and you are giving up your vote, I am hearing from you that you don't care about me. That you
Yeah.
are just willing to throw away your agency in saving me for something as petty as like your fucking PFP and like some stupid ass emojis. It's not as if this was like impacting your ability to play the game or talk to people or communicate or like
Mhm.
anything like that, anything game related. This is so
Well,
fucking
it
petty. I'm sorry. It really
no,
is. I'm
and it
pissed as
reminds
fuck.
me not to bring up six again. Sorry, I always bring up six. But Howie
Your
got a
truth
punishment
thing.
in six where he literally had to write everything backwards for an
that
entire
was so
cycle.
funny.
And that was actually like I would say that's a very it was very annoying and like actually kind of got in the way of his game because it meant anytime he talked to someone, they'd have to like be translating his text back into the front. And like I don't think he didn't have an option to break that or anything, but it's
Yeah.
like there are punishments that come across that like actually do interfere with your game. And I think strongly arguably these didn't. Like they were just silly.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll get into this more. But the one person who didn't break it, Kevin, who
Shout out
Kevin,
Kevin.
by the way, is like he was just like, where the fuck was he? We don't know. Kevin had been kind of like, and Kevin was one of those people that when he came online, people were like super vibing with him, but he just kind of was like not super visible, not like super talking to a lot of people. But Kevin kind of takes this opportunity with this curse to kind of lean into it and have it be like something fun and like a conversation starter with a lot of people. So instead of breaking it and losing his vote, he's like kind of like kikiing about it in house chat
Mhm.
and he's going to people and being like, hey, can we talk so I can, get my imprint of the day in with you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like and he's like using it as a gag and like a bit and like it's getting people to like really connect with him more and like he starts forming more relationships and like so he actually did the kind of thing I think that you would want most people to do, which, okay, you have this thing that's annoying. Okay, just pivot and use it to
Yeah.
your advantage. And Kevin absolutely did that. And by that nature, his stocks rose in this game by like a significant margin
He did it with
simply
everyone.
because,
He didn't just do it with 5 people.
yes,
He did it with everyone he
no,
talked to.
yes, he
As
used
you
it.
should be.
Yes,
You should be
as
making
he should
everyone
be.
feel special. You should be making
Yeah.
everyone
Yes.
feel like they are like they're the one like keeping you at your quota for the day or whatever. Like you should be using it as a reason to connect with people. You
To
really
the
like
point that
it
he shot
yeah.
up from like 15 out of 17 to like 5 out of 17
No,
On our
on
PR,
literally,
our like power
I'm
rankings. It was
dead ass.
crazy.
Like he got alliances out of this. He
He
got
did.
like because
Yeah.
he used it and he didn't like no offense whine about it. And like I don't want to be mean because I do understand it. It is annoying and people can make their own choices in the game. But it's like at the end of
No,
the
I'll
day,
be mean. I've done it before. Like I've done the like use an emoji in your messages before. And I'm sorry respectfully to all these people. I talk more than you. And I was able to do it. So fucking deal with it. Like it's not that bad. And like
well,
just keep it
and I
on your
will say,
clipboard
like
and
with
paste it in
Raven,
and deal with it. Like it's not that bad.
no, I mean I agree with you, and I think with Raven, like so people who liked Raven at this point already liked her. People who
yeah.
hated Raven at this point already hated her, and she was also safe. So like honestly, like even though if I was her number one ally, Veronica, I would be pissed because Veronica ends up being in a little bit of trouble this week.
Yeah.
Because like my ally doesn't have her fucking vote, and I maybe need it.
Mhm.
But it ends up overall it ends up being fine, and that's really just because at the end of the day, everyone's really decided like what they're going to feel about Raven one way or the other, and her
Yeah.
deciding to not vote like didn't really matter. But with Matt in particular, Matt, this really it bums me out because I think Matt started again the first cycle as like a very under the radar, like not really sure what his type beat was going to be. And then he comes in cycle two and he's doing like this serial bit and he's really fun. He's very like social. He gets like going socially. And like, I was like, wow, Matt's like really fun. And like, he's super like delightful and everyone's kind of a lot of people are vibing with Matt. Not
He also had
Jason
a
for whatever
specialty in
reason.
interrupting house fights with his cereal bit. Like that was very
Yes.
funny to me.
And this is
He was
also want to
very
know
funny
Matt's
about
first
that.
week not immune at this point as well. So I think this is another thing that comes
That,
up. He's
yeah.
not immune. He gets a punishment, and he said in his DR that it was like if it was just the picture and the emojis that would have been fine, but the straw that camel's back was the daily imprint. So I guess that was too much for him. As
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
so
I'm
it's
sorry,
it
you
was
can't
kind of
send
sad.
5 DMs a
Spoiler
day.
alert, but they're gonna fucking hate one of the
Well,
punishments in this
right,
season.
right. That's the
Like
whole point. Is like Matt. I thought Matt was really, I think, rising in stocks in the house and kind of like slowly gaining a lot more social traction, and people are really like vibing with him. And then he decides, for the reasons we talked about, to take the punishment of not having a vote,
Which he
he
still
doesn't
doesn't
have to
have, by
do.
the way, in real time. He still doesn't have his vote back.
Yes, because he hasn't been able to vote yet. And so he decides to take the punishment. And whilst everyone pretty much like is just okay, that's Raven. Everyone is a lot of people feel I think similar to Matt and Graham in the game where they're or Alex and Graham in the game where they're like, what the fuck? Like that's so lame. Like I can't believe you would just like get rid of your vote. Like that's really stupid. So immediately there's like massive whiplash in the house on Matt. And we can kind of get into it as we get into the cycle, but that
Yeah.
obviously that has actually like genuinely like long-term lasting impacts on this game
Yes.
that he is still
as
feeling to
it
this day, which
should.
is crazy.
As it should.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yes, I said there were two things. But yeah, and I also wanted to know Matt will get, if Matt survives to jury without somehow not voting, which is very possible somehow, he will get his vote back at the start of jury just to stay. He's not totally screwed. We're not Jeff Probst. But the second big thing that happened here was Cody and Cameron finally hunkered down and made their little infamous non-bracelets alliance. There was a little bit of
No,
tiff here.
no, you can't say that. No, Cody hunkered down
Well, here's
and
the
finally
thing.
made the non-bracelet.
That's the thing. Cameron and Cody wanted each other to make it. And Cameron was like, it was Cody's idea. Why am I making it? And Cody was like, it's Cameron's
Cameron
HOH.
forced
Why am
Cody
I
to
making
make
it? So then Cameron was like, Cody, make the alliance. And Cody was like, what the fuck? It's her HOH. But Cody hunkered down, made the alliance, which he should have done weeks ago because it was his idea to begin with. But yeah, now we have this non-bracelet alliance, which is now, for as long as Cameron and Cody keep winning HOH, keeps people like Josh safe, which is unfortunate, so to speak. But
I said it was like the leftovers, but bad and sad.
Graham has been calling them. We haven't had a real name for them
I've
yet
called
because
them the moldy
the
leftovers.
spoiled,
I've been
leftover, moldy,
referring to
whatever the
them
fuck. Yeah, because
as.
the chat is named, and I quote, "We don't need your fucking bracelets, Christmas," and that's a mouthful. So but yeah, that alliance gets made. The curse is doled out. And now we're going into nominations, and everyone who does not have, or everyone who did get a bracelet is like, what the fuck? What is Cameron going to do? I have no idea. I'm freaking out. And in particular, we have Dominique and Jason yet again, who are the most scared, and yet Cameron is in his ear like those two are the most safe outside of the non-bracelet people. But he doesn't communicate this to them.
Yeah,
Dominique spends the entire cycle thinking she's going up as her a nom and a renom, and Cameron
To be
doesn't
fair
tell
to
her.
Dominique, she has a good reason to think that she is going up because sis apparently last cycle was spent a large portion of that going around to people saying that like she didn't understand why Cameron wasn't nominated and like he's really quiet and everything. And like, to be fair to her, if he had communicated to her like as far as like how much he prioritized her, I'm sure she would have changed her tune.
Yeah.
However,
But
because he
didn't,
she shit talked him behind his back, and she obviously, like with good reason, assumed people would say like something to him about that. I have not seen evidence that anyone has.
And now he's kept her safe for no reason, and basically because now she gets the upside of being safe,
which like good for her. Like, I feel like that is like the pinnacle of social dominance is you actively shit talking the active HOH and no one saying a goddamn word. That is like chef kiss. Like, I would make player of the episode to Dominique right now just for that.
Well, Cameron even still has a dom at number 2.
Yeah.
On his trust ranking.
Yeah, that's
what I mean. Like, if no one has told him that she had been going around saying, why the fuck weren't you nominated? Like, that's loyalty.
That is clean.
That's social control.
Yeah. So that's the thing though, is Cameron pulls a Megan and just doesn't say a fucking word to anybody about what he's going to do.
Yeah. And I can I just say that it's worse. Well, yes, but at least Megan, who is well connected, so she kind of has some insulation for her like inability to communicate. It still was a bad move. Like that was probably, as we talked about, the worst move she made was just like scaring everybody. No one knew what she was going to do. But Cameron doesn't really have the luxury of doing that because he's on the bottom of the house and he knows that, and he is presumably winning HOH to try to leverage power, right? Like to try to get this non-bracelet thing going, to build relationships, to build bridges with people, because he's really not been able to do that since the beginning of the game. But he kind of, we talked about this a lot in Spec Lounge, like he kind of does this thing where he just waits for people to come to him, which I don't think that's totally wrong, but at some point you also need to be doing the work to leverage your own power. And he's not really doing that. And he's actually really not telling anybody much of anything. Like he's trying to get people to come to him and be like, well, he's asking people like, well, who should I nominate? Or what are your thoughts? But like, he hasn't really built trust with anyone. So no one's really willing to spill and send out names because I just think they don't feel comfortable with doing that with him, other than like maybe Cody, maybe Megan. So he's not talking to people. So like Dominique is like number one in his trust rate, not number one, but like she's like maybe no 1 or 2 on Cameron's trust rankings. And she becomes convinced that he's gonna nominate her. Like, and there was some reason, I think like there was something maybe leaked somewhere that she thought was gonna, so there was like a reason beyond just like paranoia, but Dominique is like convinced that Cameron is gonna nominate her. And then she convinces Jason that Dominique is going to get nominated, that she's going to get nominated. So then there's like this whole thing where like everyone's like, Dominique's getting nominated. And it's like, and like she's literally number 2 on Cameron's trust rankings. And it's literally because he, unfortunately, is just not communicating his thoughts. Like, honestly, again, like this is just, me as a player. Like, I think the first thing you do when you win HOH is you go tell your allies, like, oh my God, I won HOH. Like, Queen,
you guys are so safe.
Yeah. Don't think about it.
Like you're saying, it's like how Cole said it in
what
7,
do?
Where he was like, I'm giving out the vaccination to people. He's like, like all my allies they get Pfizer. This was during COVID, so all my allies get Pfizer. That my secondary allies, they can get like Moderna, and then everyone else is getting like the CVS backdoor drug shot for the immunity. That was how Cole put it, but it's true. It's like you go immediately to your best friends and tell them, oh my God, I can't believe I won. This is so great. You go to your
Like,
secondaries and you
what do
go, oh my
we do to
God.
better our games? Even if you only like,
Exactly.
even if you end up doing what you want to do, you at least start off with like, what do we do? So you can get your
Exactly.
allies input and like, if nothing else, get more like ammo on what they want and like where their head is at
Just
game.
information. Just
Just
you, I
information
mean,
is power in these games. So like,
yeah.
where is their head at? Who do they want out? Like, who do they want in? That is information that is great to know. Like,
Yeah. And
yeah.
then you go to your secondary allies and you're like, oh my God, so glad we're safe. And like maybe kind of throw things around with them, but you let them know immediately, like, you're good with me. And then you have that group of people that like you're kind of not sure what you're gonna do with, or maybe you already know who you're gonna nominate, whatever. But it's like Cameron just kind of from the get-go, I think loses, he kind of ends up on the back step, and kind of just ends up putting himself in a position where no one's really giving him anything. And he's now all he really has at that point when he's making nominations is this whole bracelet versus non-bracelets thing, which he's committed to. So he ends up with these nominations where it's like he ends up dominating people and he tells them like it's because we're not that close and we haven't connected, which isn't untrue, but it's also like a bit hypocritical because a lot of the reason why they haven't connected is because of him, not necessarily because of the person he's nominating. So we can get into obviously his nominations and then
Yeah,
POV, but I
we
just
get
Yeah,
wanted
we
to put
into
that
can
out
do
there.
that now, I
we
think.
get into
So,
Cameron's nominations.
yeah.
He ends up
He,
nominating
yeah.
Jessica again for the second week in a row. Jessica's on the block, and Vanessa. He
Veronica.
didn't- God
Veronica.
damn it! God damn it! Veronica. That's what we get for casting a fake person. He ends up nominating
Our MAGA queen. Come
Jessica
on.
and Veronica, and this
All
goes
out war
over.
breaks loose. It's so funny.
This goes over quite poorly, in the house, particularly because this non-bracelets alliance had not been made at this point. So the non-bracelet people didn't understand why Jessica and Veronica were being nominated instead of like Josh. And all the actual bracelet people were like, what the fuck? Why are these two people again? Why again are people who are like active enough talking to people like really funny? Like, I mean, Veronica's like becoming like in the center of the house at this point. It's like, what is going on? On top of it, Cameron gives the reasoning, we haven't connected, we don't really talk, all this kind of stuff.
That
And
better not be your reason when you're the reason why. Like,
correct. And
yep.
Jessica's like sending well, she's not sending screenshots because she's not allowed to. But like in her DR, basically, she's like, I've literally triple messaged him every single day. What do you mean we're not connecting? You won't speak to me. But
Mhm.
Jessica, because she's a little more quiet and demure than Veronica is, doesn't really let this spill out. Now Veronica,
Not just Veronica, Raven, and Megan all got some shit to say today, bro. Let me.
Veronica, and
Oh
they should.
man.
And
And Megan's his
Let
Veronica,
them
ally.
speak.
Megan's his
and Megan is
ally.
and it's so bad. Megan, his ally, also has to come in and give him a whack. Like it's
They jumped his ass.
it's wild. And Veronica, and this is skipping because this doesn't happen till the veto ceremony.
Yeah.
Just
Veronica
like
gets his ass in DMs
yeah,
first.
Veronica absolutely shreds him in DM.
One-on-ones, whatever.
And
Yeah.
honestly, like,
Several times, by the way, several different days,
The whacking
accurately
kept
too.
several
going. It didn't
times.
stop. Every time I
It was a
clicked on
full
it, there was a
cycle's
whack.
worth of whacking, full
Because
cycle's worth.
one of the things that she accurately said is that like an alt game doesn't mean a lack of social game whatsoever. Like this is still
Yes.
a social strategic game. Like what like how you go about it is up to you, but like you still need to fucking talk to people. Like honestly,
And
half the fun is making a character and then talking to people,
Like
but you still need
lying
to
and
talk to
yes.
then
people.
And let me add too, because we talked about this on the first episode, and I think it leads into this point is that we said a lot of people this season have really struggled with this whole alternative all identities, and they've been in their subs like, how do I navigate this? And their DRs like, I don't know what to do. Am I a character? Am I not? And that kind of ends up being one of Cameron's defenses for himself. He's like, well, this is like an alt org, so it's like essentially he kind of argues like I didn't really feel like I could have a social game because I can't say anything about myself, which is a weak argument.
the Yvette
It
argument,
is
even,
like
I fear.
Yeah, it's not really even an argument because I mean, because as you said, Veronica correctly clocks it by saying like you can be whatever you want to be, but like just because you can't give like small identifying things about yourself doesn't mean you can't say some things. And also you can just lie. Again, like we have a whole history of liars.
Yeah.
I mean,
For
Jake in 15 was Lawan
13.
was playing or 13 was Jake was playing a single mom playing Lawan. Like I
And
mean there was
then,
like there's
A straight white man playing a single, wait, was he a single mother or
yeah,
just a
yeah, a
mother?
single
There was
single
mother
mother,
Single
playing
mother.
a
single
gay
mother.
A
black
single
man. There
mother
was
going out on the
layers
weekends, abandoning her children to party, by the way.
No, there were
Um,
layers. It was
to
Jake
play as a
playing a
gay
twink,
black man.
playing a mom, playing Lawan. Like it
Yeah,
yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't pick up
yeah,
the
there
twink
was
player.
layers.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
and then
I missed that.
Yes.
I also want to
So
note
many
that this
layers.
also pisses off Veronica because she just spent her entire last season with these restrictions because she could not be herself.
Yes.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
had to
yeah.
Hmm.
play as Vanessa and match
Yeah.
Vanessa's stories, and she still made it work. Not to whack you again, Jordan. She still came out as the more social twin while
Please note, this
playing
is not Alex
as
whacking right now.
not herself. And so she's sitting here like, I did this, not even being me, and now I'm here playing as me, and I'm doing great. And like no one knows who you are. You can give as much of yourself as you want. And like I said earlier, it's like the Yvette thing where me and Yvette in season 6, bringing up again, argued about this. She was like, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to lie. I can't talk about my job. I can't talk about my pets. I'm like, lie. I took a picture of my friend's cat and said it was mine. And then someone asked for more pictures. I told my friend, give me more fucking pictures.
Just
Like,
say you work like a fucking office job. Like, just make shit up. Like,
literally,
just be
literally lie.
generic as
Or
fuck. Who
Lie.
cares?
you also, yeah, you can just sanitize your
Or be
own life.
vague.
Like,
Yeah, I just said
yeah,
office
like,
job. Like, I just said admin or something. Like, I was so vague.
yeah.
It's fine. Like,
And like Veronica said, and like we've said, like everybody goes about it their own specific way. Everyone kind of figures out what works for them or what doesn't work for them. But it's like I think Veronica and also Raven and also Megan, we're all right in the sense of like it's sort of a ridiculous argument to say because we're playing on an alt org and I can't be myself, I will have no social game. I mean, you're
Well,
playing Big Brother. Like this is by nature a more social game than a lot of other competitions. Like this is a game where you can win, and a lot of people do solely through social game,
yeah.
and
And
that's such an important element.
I think this panel is a little biased because we have probably three, and I am including myself in this, but and Shinx is a great social player, but you do a lot
Yeah.
of commenting, that kind of thing too.
Yeah.
Jinx is
You have
capable enough in comps to be able to rely
to
on
not
comps
have
to
to
save
be
Yeah.
himself.
included.
And some of us
You
social
have
bitches can't.
you
Social
have
is my weak point. I will
probably
not
like
lie.
three of the most social, like
Yeah.
known for being like social threat players in BB Rewind's history of
And
all
I am
time.
Team
On this
Cameron.
podcast.
I'm whacking, but I'm Team Cameron here, and I'm still whacking him. So there's no bias here,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
you
Well,
know,
and I think and
but
when I think it's like there's nothing wrong with not being a strong social player. We've had people win who are very weak social players. I mean, that's
Chelsea.
why all three elements of the game are important. But to
Mhm.
say I will have no social game because I can't be myself or I can't say identifying things, like to literally just take the social element out of the equation and then expect people to not have a problem with that is insane.
Yeah,
Like
and so let me
yeah.
get my wax in here now. So I was just saying that for like deniability. But so here's the thing. The my problem with this was not that Cameron was like, well, I can't well, the Cameron did not say I can't be social in public. Cameron
Yeah.
said that in his DMs with Veronica, to which Veronica was like, hey, that's not how this works. And they actually, I mean, Veronica was whacking the shit out of him, but there was
Yeah.
a constructive conversation
Yeah,
happening.
they built good
There
I
rapport
was
was.
to the
There
point
somehow.
where I was
was.
like, please listen to her because like she's legitimately correct and this
He's
will
helping
help your
you.
game if you listen to her.
Yeah.
It was the peak
Um
of constructive criticism. It was
now in
great,
now
actually.
in public, we're gonna I'm just gonna skip because we've already talked the bracelet alliance, the no
Yeah.
bracelet alliance gets formed in between this happening and the veto results.
Yeah,
Veronica wins the veto.
it was Wikipedia witch hunt.
It was Wikipedia
Nothing
witch
crazy. Yeah,
hunt.
I do want to note that Jessica did get House's choice. She picked Jason, and Jason's social god was like, I would use it on Veronica, but Jessica picked me, and that's a fucking scumbag thing to do. So I'm gonna throw. and then he still almost, I think he almost won, but I don't remember. It was really bad.
I was about to say Jason. I skipped that because Jason throwing a comp isn't really good.
I think, and then he like tried to say stop or
And he's
something, or was
so
that the
real for
HOH? I
that.
don't remember, but it was just a
Yeah.
mess.
Jason
Yeah.
shouldn't be winning anything at this point. He is correct in throwing everything.
We'll get to
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll get to that next week. But so Veronica wins veto. She takes herself off the block, goes into whack Cameron again.
Yeah,
And
with
it's
her little
like
veto speech and shit in
her
public
whole
this
veto
time.
speech, beautiful, large, in charge.
Gifts
And
and
then
all.
they go into the meadow.
House
Raven
chat.
brings it into the meadow.
Raven goes into the
Raven
meadow.
always got some shit to say, and I love it.
Always
I
Raven.
really
And she was
do.
right here. And she was like,
Yes.
Cameron, what the fuck? You know, and Cameron, but then Cameron does not articulate himself well in this public scenario to the point that his own ally comes in and whacks him as well. Because
Well, yeah.
Megan and him are working together now, right?
Mhm.
And we talked about that a little bit earlier. Like Megan and Cameron, they kind of get along well because they're both these kind of game. They're not. I wouldn't say Megan's a game bot. Cameron is. Megan isn't a game bot, but she's very game heavy,
Yeah.
and so they get along well. But Cameron
Normalize
is like,
social game bots because sometimes that's not bad.
like, I don't want to be social. Cameron,
Well,
think-
Cameron is
and can
basically like, it's an alt org, so like, why would I be social?
He's
He
like, I
literally
just set
says,
up
"Could we
win
skip the social part?" He says, "We could
Yes.
skip this." I was under the impression we could skip the social part because it's a not anon, anon, and where I was raised, that's literally the point of anon. And then that's when Megan's like, "Girl, what the fuck?"
They're
That's
like, where the fuck
crazy.
did you come from, bro?
This is a social strategic game. What do you mean that you think you can skip being social with people?
And
That is
by the way,
whole
I
point
posed
of
this
the game.
question in Spec Lounge and I open it to anyone listening to the podcast. I'm legitimately curious, like the different social circles that there are where that's fine. Like, is this like, are this for speeds? Like, what is going on here?
In
Like,
my
I'm
old
curious about, like, the
community,
format.
that it was sort of like that. I can say he's not making this up. In my old community it was like this, but it was my old community was also like the same people. Imagine if like all of us just kept doing rewinds over and over and over and over again on like, so it was
Nightmare,
like
nightmare, nightmare,
I
nightmare.
like
So
I
it's
knew these
basically
people
like an
already.
off-season,
Like it's like the
like,
challenge, like the same cast keeps coming back with
the
new twists and
off-season
shit.
thing coming,
Yeah.
like, but like
But
every,
I'm like, so I'm like, I
it's just
knew these
off-season.
people. Like, I don't need to talk. I know who you are. I didn't talk like so. I didn't like my old community back in the Skype org days. Jesus Christ, I would not talk to people because also I was a student. I was a teenager playing in high school, middle school shit. So
But
I
was
would
it all like
no.
you knew who they were?
Yeah, I knew who they were, but it was like the same vein of like I'd come on when noms were happening or veto was due or something. Whenever a game thing was happening, I would talk to people, and if nothing was happening, you'd go live your own life.
That's crazy. And
So that
so,
sort of
yeah.
sounds like Disnorgs.
Kind
yeah.
of. But I did
So-
also I wanted to add this too. Raven had also at this point been throwing digs at Cameron all week. She took her safety in. She was like, so we just letting anybody win HOH now. She's like, I wish she's like, I remember she was like, I really think that it's crazy how we've had two HOHs and every nominee has been a woman at this point, and and then people
And
were
she was also in the middle, like, so how can we fuck over Cameron's HOH?
Yeah, in
the
public,
house
mind
chat with
you.
Cameron there.
just
And
yeah.
I think Cameron has just like lost a lot of goodwill from the Spec Lounge and
I
Yeah.
got you, Cameron, but you got to
and
work.
from the other players in this sense because that just like kind of blatant disregard. And I think Veronica said it really well too, and she was like, well, if you can't connect socially with someone because you can't talk about like what their day was like, what their job was or whatever, then you're not doing the job. Like you're not doing it right because there's way other amounts of things to talk about other than like, hi, my name is blank. I do this. I'm 22 and live in Los
Yep.
Angeles, California.
I used to hate
Like-
that shit.
And I
Like,
I
what are we
forget where
doing?
I forget where I said this, but like it might have even been the prior episode. Like literally that is the most interesting thing about playing BBR to me is like having to play like not as yourself, having to basically like plumb your social depths to not have to just like talk about yourself and like your personal life and like find other shit to talk about, like figure it out, navigate, pivot, you know, like that is interesting, like as a social
Pretend to be pregnant.
exactly. Well, that
Pretend to
was
be
a
from
different
Norway.
series, but
Yeah,
main community.
I was even gonna add that like I don't want to. I kind of get where Cameron's coming from because when I first started playing Orcs here, I was like him. I didn't get it at first, and I kept leaving early. And I was just like, "Why is this happening?" And okay, let me like sit here and look inwards. What am I doing wrong here? And I hate small talk. I don't care about your. I really don't. I know you don't care about my day. I don't care about yours. But it's like how you have to build. If you have nothing else to go off of, that's what you build the connections off of
You don't even have to small talk.
until it
Like,
naturally forms on of like I personally try to go for balance of like half game, half like how was your day and stuff like that. Just that works for me personally
Yeah.
because it's like what else is there to talk about if you don't, especially in rewinds, like what else is going on. But yeah, I think it's just he's never had to do that, so to speak, because he's not to leak too much, but he's someone who's we've already seen is good at challenges. Like if he has any social L's, he could usually just cover himself with a comp win here. But
Mhm.
that's like obviously it's not the great way to play. Obviously it
was
works.
this while
It's
playing Big
great.
Brother?
Rewinds is where I finally got my head on straight. The when I was doing
No. That's not what I'm
oh,
asking.
for
I
Cameron,
said, did
What was your
did
question?
did he get away with this? While did Cameron get away with this while playing Big Brother other places?
I've only seen Cameron playing Survivors.
Okay, I was like, because where are you from?
I have not seen him do this in the Big
Like
Brother.
what?
I've seen him do Survivors and challenges. That's all I will say before I leak too much about his
Yeah, so
identity.
those are not Big Brother.
Yeah. But
And I
that's again my old community. I it was primarily brother. When
and
I
that makes sense.
rewind is where I got my head on straight because I was like I need to talk to people all the time and not just check in for every challenge and stuff. So I get where he's coming
well,
from. I don't agree, but I understand because I used to be there. I would say so. I understand it, but he's like, he has to get out of that
and
funk.
I understand that the point of audacity to look a room full of people in the face and say, I don't really care about connecting with you, and then putting people up because you haven't connected with them. You know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah.
it's not a good look. And I get it and I sympathize with it and I understand that. But I just think coming into a really social place like Rewinds and like a Big Brother game and being like, fuck your drag. It's like
I
it,
Yeah.
yeah.
I agree with you in that, like, yes, absolutely. This was like a very fuck your drag situation. But like, I think the thing I'm almost more annoyed by is like, even like keeping in mind the like, I don't social game of it all, right? Like, if you win HOH and you're a game bot, you still go to your top couple tier allies and tell them about safety. Like this almost makes it more egregious that you don't take this time to then go and use this to talk game with your allies.
Yeah, if you're a
If you're a
game
game
bot,
bot,
this is your
where's the fucking
cycle.
game that you're botting?
He told the
Like,
non-bracelet people, but he didn't tell Dom and Jason, which is obviously
no,
more important to tell
then that
them.
doesn't fucking
Cycle.
count because
Yeah.
like if you have bracelet people that you are like really vibing with, you use your HOH to get an inroad with this like the social hierarchy in your mind. You know, like if you think that that is the top of the house, you use your HOH to create some sort of like secret duo with them or whatever. Like the fact that you're not doing that really frustrates me.
I think it's also he said at this point he's unfortunately by his words put himself in the shield position of the
Mhm.
non-bracelet side and trying to enforce this split house, which is like I don't know why you put yourself in the shield position if
I
you
was
didn't
about to
have
say it's
to.
true, but again, it's a mess of his own
Yeah, you
making.
didn't
Well,
have to
he's
be the
also the
So
only
he
shield.
one who
did it.
believes this is a thing. So
Yeah,
like
no one else has stock in this alliance. I think all of them have either thought about leaking it. No one's leaked it yet, but everyone's like, I don't give a fuck, or they thought about leaking it.
Yeah, that's what we'll get to now, where Elena was
Yeah.
like, well, because fuck Cameron. Elena's like, I need to leak this to somebody.
the
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
reason Elena hasn't leaked it is because she's been like busy
And then we
in
lock them
her
out of the
personal
out of the
life
one
and
on
hasn't had the
what?
time to devote to it. She's like a busy and booked queen. She's like, I'll figure this out later. But like, she is very much against this whole like division of the house. Like,
Yeah.
she at one point said, like, I'll look at this and see if it works for me. But like, if it doesn't, whatever. And then she looked at it and was like, oh, fuck no, absolutely not. This is not my vibe. Like, I don't like this. Like, because it really is like, think about it. It is a house division based on day two
Yeah, literally.
of someone who was the first boot.
As someone
respect
who is
to
no longer
Christmas and
here,
everything, but like, come
Yeah,
on.
that like the
The Christmas
Christmas of it
spirit
all is just
lingers.
crazy.
the way that is I haven't thought about it in those terms, but that's insane.
It's
Her
fucking
spirit
insane.
The
lingers. Her
Christmas
There's
spirit
spirit
the Christmas
lingers.
lingers.
spirit.
Hey, it's
It
almost
literally
November
is the
1st.
ghost of
Mariah
Christmas
Carey is
past. Like,
defrosting.
Yeah, yeah, the ghost of Christmas past. Yeah, yeah. It's like
Literally.
not them naming their alliance after her, and she's already dead. She was dead like day
Hang
3.
on. I'm telling Jackson to make that her comic right now, actually.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a lot of whacking. Like I said, Cameron's allies came out of the woodwork to be like, "What are you doing? Like, you need to stop saying that in public." Like, it was like a whole thing. Um, and yeah, so anybody else have anything to whack about before we move on to the renom? Because this is where
Yeah. I was
Matt
gonna just
stock
jump to the renom if anyone has
Matt
nothing else to
stocks
say.
tanked dramatically.
Anybody, anything? Going once,
I think I'm
twice?
good. Yeah.
All right. So going to the renom. Cameron had a nomination short list of Jessica, Raven, not Raven. Well, yes, Raven, but he couldn't nominate her. Jessica, kind of Raven, Veronica, Matt, and Mark. So of those four people that he really could nominate, he was between Matt and Mark for the renom, and Matt giving up his vote and removing the curse did him in because there was two reasons here. It was like you won't take the punishment, that's lame, and B, strategically, Cameron wants to delay Matt's inability to vote for a week where maybe they have more numbers and Matt can't vote and they can help them. So I understand that too. And Matt here just has the only L for Matt is that he doesn't have to do much to stay, but there was a very brief window where the votes looked like they could have flipped on him because I believe
Just
it
because
was,
Jason wanted
yeah,
Matt to leave.
Jason, yeah,
Or
Jason wanted
he wanted Jessica to stay over
more
Matt.
than Matt
Like
leaving.
he
And I think it was
and
also
yeah.
that Megan was pushing very hard
Yeah,
for
Well, yeah.
Megan
him to
was
That's
hard
stay
what
pushing
to
it.
the
yes.
point to where people were kind of going like,
Megan, chill
do I
out.
just want like what you don't want? Because this is a
Yeah,
little too like foot down
Like
for me.
literally what happens is Jason's like, "Hey guys, like I was thinking maybe we could keep Jessica, like she's cool with me." And Megan's like, "We're keeping Matt. Everyone's keeping Matt, right? Everyone's keeping Matt. Yeah, that's right. You're keeping Matt. You're keeping Matt. You're keeping Matt." And it's like she kind of just literally strong armed Jason. She strong arms anyone in her alliances. Now, again, like I think most people had like a lukewarm view on it. Like they had a preference, but I don't think most people like had a really, really strong preference. That's why Jason kind of rolls over on the vote. Like he wants Jessica to stay, but like he would rather keep good with Megan. But Jason said in his DR, like, this is the second week in a row Megan's gotten exactly what she wanted by bulldozing over everyone, and I don't like that.
yeah.
Dominique is kind of on the same type beat. Like a lot of Megan's allies are like, why is it that Megan gets what Megan wants every single time? You know what I
Even
mean?
Raven was like, "Oh, I was gonna keep Matt anyways." But like, what the fuck?
I would actually
Um,
like say that this is a much bigger like impact to Megan's game than like last week. Like I think like if you're
100%.
HOH and you state a preference, like whatever. Like
Did
who the fuck?
Raven make the All Girls Alliance in this episode?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I guess yeah, Raven makes this. Raven makes the alliance with all the women, and then Megan leaks it immediately, and then Jason leaks to Raven that Megan leaked it, and then Megan's like, "Well, that was Raven's like, I was gonna keep Matt anyways. Fuck the alliance. Well, I don't know why Megan's dumbass leaked it. It's just a whole, but just a comedy of errors, really.
And then Jason leaks that to Dom, and
Yep.
Dom's like, "Well, I can't tell Megan anything ever again."
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Megan
feel like
stalks off
a
the
lot of
computer.
Megan stocks have tanked low key this up. I'm a little worried about her actually.
Yeah.
Well, and here's where I kind of ended up with it, and this is kind of a leak because Power Rankings haven't been posted yet. But
Oh,
I
okay.
think I think that I've kept. Let me fact check myself.
Go for it.
Okay, I kept Megan high on the list this week because she did get what she wanted. People rolled over for her, which showed that they value her more than they valued the people on the block and other people in the house. And I think that Megan is still very well insulated because she has a lot of people surrounding her. She has the Doms and the Jason. She has the Camerons and the Codys. She has good. She's been good with Veronica. Like people like Megan, but I think this next week or two will show whether or not Megan is like pre-jury or like first out in jury flop because she's just too much, or whether she's able to like pivot and kind of keep in good with people. Um, but I have her as number 2 on the PRs for this week. I did not tank her stocks because I don't think at this moment like she's in any danger from it. And I think she still is in a very, very good spot. However, I think she's put herself in a position where she could easily take her stocks and go down this list if she fumbles the bag, essentially,
I mean,
because she's headed that way.
I guess she'd be over Jason because she got what she wanted and Jason didn't.
Yeah, Dom is 1, Megan's 2, Jason's 3,
Yeah, that
simply
makes
because Jason didn't get what he wanted.
for this specific cycle. That makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the future, it remains to be seen.
Yeah.
I can see that. I really, I have no beef with that order.
I think
Yeah. But we
besides
see Matt gets put on the block
almost leaves, but
because he gave up his vote.
yeah, that's basically the main
Which
crux of it all.
it is also
Respect.
it's funny that Cameron's the one who nominates him because it's Cameron the one who gave him the punishment. Like
Mhm. And Matt did clock
we
that Cameron gave him the punishment because of his
Yeah,
reaction
that
Yeah.
part.
and everything. Yeah.
and we all agree that Matt, in our opinions, should not have getting rid of his vote. Like it was kind of a lame move. But it is funny that Cameron's like, "Here's a punishment," and then Matt's like, "I don't want it," and then Cameron's like, "I'm gonna punish you again." Like, double whacked him, honestly. So yeah, Matt goes on the block, and there's this brief moment where it's kind of like maybe Jason's gonna convince all of his allies he's collected like Pokemon. Got a Pokemon reference in. You're welcome, Shanks. I don't even know if I did that right. Collected them like Pokemon. And you think he's kind of gonna maybe turn the tide. He doesn't turn the tide. He kind of just rolls over. So Matt's stocks tank significantly because he actually does have a moment where he might die. Everyone's kind of
And at
pissed
one
off at
point in the
him.
voting process, there were more votes for for Matt than there were for Jessica.
No,
And
Because
yeah,
nothing, Matt didn't even
legitimately.
stay by anything he did. It was more people quelling Jason, or like,
Mhm.
I would say there were people who liked Matt more than they liked Jessica, so he didn't have to do much in that regard. But a lot of people's votes were like, I don't care, or stuff, or like, I want Jessica gone more than I want Matt gone, or stuff like that. So,
Mhm.
or people
From a
folding to
Megan
the will of the
standpoint,
majority.
it makes sense
Very
for her to
that.
want to get rid of Jessica because she literally nominated Jessica last week.
Yeah,
She's like, no, I don't want to keep the person who I already put on the block that's going to be pissed at me. Like,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
It
But again,
does.
it's just like the way Megan and Cameron went about things this week.
a little messy, just a tiny
Messy.
bit.
Again, as I said earlier,
Messy, messy, messy.
Messy,
I think all of these were the right decisions for them. I think they went about them simply
The
so
execution.
poorly.
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, and
Sometimes
then
it's not a bad thing to not get your way.
yeah,
It really isn't. You
like
know, like
not to
that.
bring up
That can be pretty powerful.
we jumped Aaron and Sunflower in 15 because they kept getting their way every time. And
Yeah.
this is getting
I
this is getting
literally
annoying.
used that as part of a campaign. I'm like, oh, wait, this is convenient. Perfect.
They
Let's
need
make
one
this
L
big
before
scary
we get to
thing.
jury phase. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
But yeah, then unfortunately, that was the biggest vote drama. After that, it was kind of clear. The biggest vote drama on our side was making sure everyone voted on time.
Oh my
Like,
God, yeah.
The amount
so
of hunting
Yep.
down on me
it
this season.
was unfortunately
The
for
amount of
Jessica.
main pings has been crazy.
Yeah, it was a very open and shut case for Jessica. Unfortunately,
Just
she
strike
was
them.
going
Strike them.
This
and
is no
then
longer a COVID era series. We are respectful of personal lives
and
to a
then
certain
Strike them.
I mean, at one point we will end up. I mean, similar to like the whole God stop start debacle. That let's not even talk about it.
yeah,
That's next I
that's
could come
next week.
anyway.
I
But
can't wait to talk about
that's next week.
that.
But similar to that
I have a lot of
debacle,
strong feelings about that.
similar to that debacle, like I think we're trying to be lenient on things that we know are special to the org, like starting and stopping your time in a specific way and having to log in between accounts. Like especially in the early weeks, like I think we're trying to have people like let them have like a warming up process, like where they're getting
Yeah,
used to
for sure.
things and they're kind of figuring out their schedule. But at some point, like once we know that you know the rules, like there will come a time where it just becomes a strike or a DQ, and that's just kind of like it is what it is. But I think so
Maybe
far
like
we've been
week
trying
4.
to
It's normally
we
about week 4.
yeah,
Yeah.
we want people to feel like they can make mistakes and not be like just fully like completely punished for it. But at the same time, it's like we are an org, like they did sign up knowing for the most part, kind of what they were getting into. And at some point, probably now, it'll kind of be a little bit less of like a little less hand holding and a little bit more like if you don't want to be here and vote on time, then you can deal with the consequences of that. But this was like week 3, and
And
we're
it's
also like
honestly more
not trying to like
respectful to the
expel
people who
5 people
like
from the house.
do it,
Yeah.
It's also
like
Yeah.
we're
it
trying
was
to be
also
respectful
only
to
the
that.
second vote, which is
Yeah.
to think about too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after some wrangling down, some September 11th jokes, we finally hunted everybody down. We got Jillian, who was
Poor
still on her vote,
Jessica.
to be 9/11, and then I had to get Ramses, who wanted to vote in the morning for some reason because time zones, and I had to get Veronica to come up more, and then Josh. I had to get Josh on. We don't normally do this, but I had to get Josh on main to vote at 3 o'clock in the morning or
But
two
did
thirty
he
or
ping
whatever.
host?
Then I was like,
But
I'm
did
not.
he ping us?
He pinged me, so
A host.
so I get Josh's
Being
vote on
host
main, and I'm
singular.
like, look, this is never gonna happen again. But it's 2:30 a.m. I'm doing this fucking eviction, and then I feel bad. I took Jessica out back in the middle
That
of
I
the night, and I
that was
know.
shot
horrible.
her.
You
Poor
literally bringing her out
Jessica.
back and shooting
If
her.
I if
She was
I was on the
asleep.
block and woke up at 9 a.m. and I was evicted, I'd be like, what the fuck? I'd be so upset.
She did. She woke
Literally.
up at 7.
It's okay.
That's even
Shanks hates
worse.
women. We know this.
Stop. No, I don't.
So
Well, he
I,
does.
I do not. But yeah, I was just like, I'm gonna get the fucking eviction out because it should not have run into 2 a.m. in the first place. You get the
yeah.
new comp out, then go the fuck to bed. And then so yes, we have lost Jessica. Her and her 8 million
R.I.P.
babies are sitting in sequester trying to come back. And
Oh,
maybe she
baby.
will. We'll see. I
And
said 8
she
million.
no,
8 million
you're not
babies.
dead till you're dead yet in this game with this
Exactly.
battle back.
That's
Exactly.
true.
Especially in the fucking like battle back
Era.
stage. Like, let's be
Yeah.
so
Yes.
real. And with our like dark like horse queen, I'm just like, I really respect a woman who comes back and just claws her way back,
Yeah.
Hmm.
just like slits throats along. And I really feel like that's just like I like on her way out, she was basically like, I won't be so nice next time. And like I'm
Yeah.
really like here to lock
Period.
in. And I am just so here for like
I
Joker
want
as
to see that. Well,
Yeah.
spoiler alert. She's really the only house guest we've had that's been evicted that's been like, no, yeah, actually, like I want to be back in the game.
Yeah. Alex still, sorry, like casted Alex, not hosted Alex, still decaf. She's still winning that decaf war.
He's still winning the
Don't
deal.
know where she is.
That's not
Christmas, of
true.
course, is here.
Christmas
Her
does want to
spirit
be
is
there,
here.
but
No, yeah, her
I
spirit's here,
am
but yeah.
worried. I'm worried about her compatibility more than I am her spirit. So we'll see what
And you know
Christmas
what? You
is
know, and
there, but you know, she's maybe like the ghost of Christmas past is like the coughing baby. You know, like there's just a little bit of
and
like,
Jessica has real compatibility. Like she didn't really get the
yeah.
chance to always show it, but she really actually was like a dark horse sleeper hit with
Mhm.
comps. So I could definitely see her winning, and I would love to have Jessica back. I think she's like again a very normal person, like many other people in this cast, which we love that. But she's also just like very like classy. Like she has a really great way with words. Like she was she was like a great social game. Like she just was busy.
Mm.
So and I would love to see her come back and be like, fuck y'all who voted me out, like all you fake
Mhm.
bitches. Like I would love that moment for her. She deserved that moment.
Yeah.
Especially because she didn't get one because she was
Yeah,
taken aback
exactly.
during the middle of the night
Yeah. And I
under the
do
cover
feel
of
like
darkness.
I feel like when you come back, you can kind of jump into game like to a certain degree
For
more than
sure.
you can like
Yes.
just being normal. You know what I mean? Like you can just kind of be like balls to the wall. Look, I have like fucking nothing to lose. Like who wants me? Come here. Like let's go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And
And
I
then you
feel
can
like she
pull
can
the no
really
one, you need to take me to final two. No one will ever vote for someone who's been evicted to win. Like literally,
Mhm.
it's like
Oh, for sure.
No, yeah. It's a great strategy.
And yet I've absolutely seen the person evicted come back and win. So it's doable for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking like an Aria like voted herself out type thing. Like
well,
Yeah.
not in
legitimately was
Rewind's
voted
history, it
out
She
hasn't
she didn't
happened.
and
even
came
get
back in
yeah.
the same mechanism.
Yeah.
In Rewind's history, it hasn't happened. But it's
One
been
vote shy of happening twice, but never actually happened to.
yeah, yeah. They went to final two
Yeah,
twice,
it's Paul and Jen that are coming to mind right now.
and Dominic.
And Dom, but
Um,
Dom didn't get one vote for winning.
Well, yeah.
What was that?
Dom wasn't one vote away from winning. He was like 3 or something. He was like 5-2. Whatever.
Correct.
That's yeah, 5-2, some shit. Yeah. But that's
Dom
because
Tops still deserve the
because
representation.
Arya Jen was 4-3 and then Paul was 5-4. That's what I was trying to get on there.
Oh, I remember I forgot why did I forget last season already? Anyway. But yeah, well, it hasn't happened yet, but I could see it with this cast,
Especially this
who's
battle
to
back is
say?
early. It's not like a mid-jury battle back. Like
Yeah,
you're
Yeah.
it's
gonna
like,
play most of the game. Like
especially if it's Jessica and she was evicted week 3, week 4 happens, and then she comes back week 5. She was gone
yeah,
for one cycle.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
And
that's
how
And
that's
she's actually and she's able to see everything
and
that's
this is yep,
happening.
exactly.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
yeah.
Spoiler. We won't get too much into it, but she can actually literally see everything that's happening. So she could argue like it's almost like I was never gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
think about it that way.
Yeah.
exactly.
She took one for the
She's
team.
Mufasa if you really think about it. You know,
Literally,
she's
just
just like
Yeah.
sitting
watching
up
from
in
the
the stars,
clouds.
just
Yep.
observing.
Yeah.
She's been here more than Josh has.
Hmm.
Literally though.
Sorry,
And that is
Josh.
why she is not
Literally
the GOAT despite being voted out.
whack,
Literally.
whack, 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 whack.
But I think
Well,
that's covered the last two
yeah, we've been
cycles.
recording for 2 hours and 20 minutes, so I think it's
And that
Yeah.
time
is on
to wrap
Sydney's
this up.
school email account.
Yeah,
Thank you,
great.
Sydney.
Thank you, Sydney. The way I almost said your school. Thank you, Sydney.
Thank you,
Bye,
redacted law school and redacted
Me
state.
school.
getting doxxed. Hey, come
Sydney
visit me
Sugar
on
Mama era.
campus.
All right. Well, anyone else have anything to say before we wrap up?
Player of the episodes, Jason, Dom, and then Christmas episode one. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, Christmas and then Jason, Dom. I don't think I would disagree.
Yeah. We'll
Oh,
see about episode four.
I'll be the contrarian and say just to be different that I'm gonna give cycle 2 to Megan just
Hmm.
That's
because
fair.
I think just because like she really again
Yeah.
like prior to cycle 2 she was just so she was definitely there but she really wasn't a big entity at least to me and then she just came out in so many ways personality wise game wise strategy wise social wise like just really everything and the game has been like in a lot of ways a portion of it has been Megan's game since then so I'm gonna
One
give
thing
it to her.
and one
That's
thing I
fair.
really do want to give her credit for that I feel like we haven't done enough of right now is like she's really riding that center game really well. Like
She
I
is no
think we've
she
like
is
suspected that like Jason and Dominique are like the ideals of that. And like in a way they are, and that like they're more under the radar about it. But like Megan, if no one like actually calls her on it properly, like she's been driving everything. Like, and
Hmm.
sometimes people don't fucking call you on it. Like sometimes you can get away with it. So like I don't know. I'm very curious to kind of see where this Megan storyline and era is going because I think she could be incredibly powerful if people don't call her on it. Like if people keep trying to like be in the background about it, like I not to make it about me, but like I've won games like this, like where you're
Yeah.
incredibly dominant and out front and like strategic and social, but like if no one calls you on it, you can just keep fucking getting away with it until it's too late, you know?
Yep.
yeah.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
it's almost like some of her strategy and some of her positioning is actually hidden by the fact that she's so visible in other ways. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of hard to understand. And maybe it's partly just that this cast is like a really interesting cast. Like they're kind of all like not really fitting a ton of caricatures. Like Raven kind of is, and I don't know, like they're all just kind of interesting in a way that I don't know if I've seen
I've
before. So
never seen a cast like this. It's
Yeah,
so
these
we
bitches
thought it
hate
was
each
gonna be
other.
we thought it was gonna be normies versus like wild things, and it really hasn't been. It's really just been like everyone versus every like their op. And like
Everyone's just wanting to fight.
it's
Yeah.
so strange. Like I said, there's so many alliances and none of them mean anything.
If we made
And
charts, they'd overlap like crazy.
yeah,
yeah.
That's why I
and
made
they're
a bigger chart.
all just like they're all just focusing on like personal connections and relationships.
And those are my
Yeah, it's
favorite kind of
yeah.
games because those are so
They're
dynamic and
so fluid.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It
fluid.
is.
exactly.
Yeah, it is. Well, and also too, it's like I think this cast has really, and I respect it because I think we all have our lives. Like, but this cast is really committed to the fact of like I'm gonna be here when I'm here, and like that's just what it
Mhm.
is. So it's also meant that like you might not have a lot of quantity of interactions or like these moments with them, but I feel like when they come online, almost every single one of them has like really quality moments. Like Jillian is the best example. Like she literally isn't really super active, but whenever she speaks in her DR, which isn't often, it's always the funniest fucking shit on the planet. Like that, like she has never once had a sentence in there that didn't have me kikiing, like dead ass. And I love her for that. Like I want her to stay because
Mhm.
as much as like she's not like really super well insulated, she's not really like an necessarily like a huge power player in any real way. Like she comes online and like the moments she has are so good that it's just like I'm okay with the fact that we only get them like once every 2 or 3 days, really. So yeah, and it
Absolutely.
feels like
Yeah,
kind of
no, I
everyone is
agree.
like that to some degree. So it's been really interesting and really, I feel like this season has not been any box. Like I don't really feel like I figured out exactly like, I mean, we know who the most influential players are, but even them, like even they're not kind of fitting like the general idea of what we think of like a social powerhouse. Like they are and they aren't. So I don't know. It's
Like
just
they
been
are, but
I'm
they're also not
interested.
putting their foot down for anything. So like the fact that they do have the potential for influence means nothing if they're not going to use it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Care for
Like,
Right.
so
nothing, then
it's
what do you fall for? Lin-Manuel Miranda shoots me with a gun.
Tumblr just taking over every
Yeah,
single one of our souls. Yeah.
literally. And well, and that's another thing too that I think is interesting. I know we said we were about to end. Sorry, listeners. But that is something I think is interesting is that this is such a fluid style game so far, but yet Cameron, not really Cody. Cody had the idea because he thought it was like funny for shits and giggles, and then it ended up happening. But like
Literally.
Cameron and also Cody sometimes are trying to implement this like house split, but like they just don't care.
Yeah.
But it's like they're trying to like make a split house
We just need one of them to not
better
be HOH and we'll see
because
some
it's
shit
better
move.
for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just not the case. And I think that's part of their struggles socially is
Yeah.
that it's like a fluid house that has a lot of like social like quality connection. And so because of that, they're struggling. If I had to
I
guess
don't
it,
think any two people have the same nominations, which I love.
yes, that's true. I
Yeah.
don't that is true. I don't think a single
And Megan
person
had
has a
4 nominations. And I
Yeah.
mean, but
Wait,
besides,
can we use this time? Like, this is legitimately me asking. Like, okay, so I think we agree that like Jason and Dominique are like the top two people influentially. Like, what are their like top three? Like, what I don't. Does anyone know that?
what
Like
who their top
they're
three are.
Yeah, like I guess I'm just asking. Like, nobody has the same like top things. Like, I guess like where do those kind of branches lie? You know, like among the
Dominique.
people.
Dominique has Jason, Mark, and Matt in her top three as of last week, and
Okay.
Jason
Jason has Dom,
has
Kevin, and Mark.
yeah. So Mark basically
Okay,
is
so Mark is
incorrect.
overlap.
and we've
Yeah,
talked about that where
and then
Mark is
Yeah, yeah.
Kevin
huge.
is Dom's number four.
Okay, so Kevin and
Kevin
Mark
real
there.
Kevin
Kevin
stalks
came
Kevin
him.
up.
came
Mark just
back. Jesus Christ.
Kevin was
Yeah.
on vacation. I was like, Kevin had told everyone he was on
Yeah, no,
vacation at the
that's
start of
fair.
the
That's
season.
fair.
It was a rough time for the org to start, but he got through the first week and he's been showing up ever since. And I
Mhm.
applaud him. Thank you,
also
Kevin.
Yeah,
shout out
no,
to
he has been up.
Veronica. I just want to say shout out to Veronica too, who like her like schedule is insane, and she sometimes like isn't on until like 2, 3 a.m. But she's like pretty much on for most people. She's in like the top five, top
Mhm.
six, top seven consistently of everyone's TRs. Like I think she's been a really great example, and maybe like the antithesis to Cameron, which we. I mean, like
Yeah.
that was what this whole week was about, but that she uses her very small amount of time so valuably, and she's really been able to do well for herself regardless. So just shout out to Veronica. She's been a great returnee. I'm just really glad she's on the
Yeah, he
season.
told me on Maine, like it's been a rough time IRL. Like he was really considering dropping, but he really wanted to come back and get a second chance to play himself. And I'm glad he's
Aw.
here and making the most of it. So like, thank you,
I've got
Same.
to say, I think
Veronica.
Veronica is like literally the pinnacle of coming online and making great use of her
Every
time. I
single
said
second.
before, she is
Yep.
the kind of player who could come online and flip a house in an hour. I
Yep.
stand by
Hmm.
it. I think she
Yeah,
could actually do it in less time if everyone was online. She is just
yeah,
like really fucking good at that.
yeah.
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 Excellent use of like utility of time.
100%.
I think we're coming up on 9:30 EST, so I think
Yep.
this is a good
We
time to
will
We've
wind.
talked we've talked enough. Yeah.
we'll shut this shit down. But thank you so much for listening to the Rewinds Rewind episode
Yes.
2. We will be back. Maybe not next week. I think it depends on how fast the cycles go. But
Yeah,
Mhm.
we might have a hack situation, might have a battle back. We don't know.
yeah,
We'll figure it out when we
the
get there.
our tentative schedule is kind of every two. every 2 cycles is kind of what we're thinking, unless something super crazy major happens or that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Unless we have to have an emergency pod.
Yeah.
So it's less timing wise, like week wise, and more
Yeah.
more
Also, we're
How
busy.
much we have to say.
yeah.
We do be busy.
Yes.
But all right. Well, with that, we shall say goodbye. Thank you everybody for your time.
I looked up the pronunciation. It said Quileute. I got it. Yay. No one gave a
Glad
fuck.
we got there.
That's all we
Period.
have for everybody. Good night,
Thank
guys.
you so
All
much
right.
for your
Thanks,
Thank
time.
everyone.
you. Bye.
Bye.
God.
Kisses.